and welcome to the Talk to Me America show, where the world wants to know what you have to say. So call me and tell them like it is. Yes, I'm very blonde today. It's been a long day, and I lost my temporary cap, so a little bit of pain, but we'll make it through. Hello, Pastor Chatelet, and good evening, Lord Slade. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here. Also, to a limited access on YouTube. It looks to me like my Rumble is working today. Yippee-ki-yay. So if anything screws up on the other two, hit the Rumble. All the links are below. All the links are below. All right. Of course, you know already, I'm your hostess, Laura the Goddess. And this is being brought to you by Here's What I Heard, the channel in which you are watching today. Thank you for clicking on my little acre of the internet today. Of course, you know also, too, all the links are below if you want to support the channel, help me grow. Good news, like I say, I'm on Rumble now because I have 1 gig. I'm so happy. I have 1 gig. I finally got upgraded. The latest, greatest, and well, not quite the fastest, but I couldn't afford the fastest, but it's fast enough to do 3 and probably have no problems. So, all right, welcome everybody. All right, let me quickly plug everybody real quick. 451 Actual, of course, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern. Pastor Chatelet, of course, you can always hit the pond. Oh, excuse me. Red Dawn Radio, DJ Brandrak, the Drunken Rocky, Raynoth, and the Round Table. Don't forget about that. I'm there on Tuesdays. In fact, I made it this Tuesday. I get so proud of myself when I remember things. Getting old is not for sissies. All right, and don't ever lie to yourself. Oh, I'll remember that if I don't write it down. The older you get, the less that's true. All right, and then of course Rougarou, the man with the plan. Adam, how you doing? Thank you for coming to the show. Oh, and Toasty, my Toasty. Thank you for being here. All right, everyone else is doing it, and I mentioned this last time. So if you want to make me a video for my show or yours, I will play your ads on my show. Just shoot them to me at. And get a pencil, write this down. This is my email. It should be around here somewhere, but I'll tell you what it is, and I'll stick it in the chats. Actually, that's the only thing I can't see on Rumble is the chat at the moment. I need a bigger screen or another screen. Adding one more was like, whoa. So, but hip hip hooray, I finally got it to work. All right. The email address to send me your... I don't know if you could call them stingers, really, unless you really want them to be stingers. I'll just put them on my channel that way. Maybe I'll put them at the end of the show, the beginning of the show. I don't know. All right, I'm going to spread this out so I can see it. Mohap, okay. I see. Fun Super Trucker, welcome to the show. Yes, Pastor Chatelet, thank you very much. He posted it on there. I'm going to post it on... Oops, that's not it. I'm going to post it on the other two if I can. But yeah, that's my email address there. If you want to send me something or send me your commercial, my commercial, I like what everybody does, and I do it too. And so I want to see what everybody comes up with for me, because I'm unusual too. I'm sure. There it is. There's my email address. Still not real sure how to do it on Rumble. Oh, okay. Just have to do full screen. All right. I posted it on Rumble. I don't even know who... It doesn't look like anybody's watching me on Rumble. But then again, I haven't announced it. And actually, I'm losing subscriptions on Rumble. What's Rumble done since they went public? I had I had 232, now I'm down to 229, and it seems like every day that I go there I lose one. What's going on with that? Space Cowboy, welcome to the show. I would call in, but I have a foul mouth. I can barely text as a sane human. Well, my show is all about freedom of speech. So, that's not going to be, I don't mind. The audience, some of the audience might mind, but then again, if you're not for freedom of speech, then you're probably not watching my show anyway. Sparky the Welder, Lermking, okay, must be working. Toast have aired. Arrived. Oh, okay, I see. My toasty. All right. Welcome, everyone. And, of course, limited access. There it is. Did you get it? Can you see it there? All right. You got it. Awesome. Awesome. Once again, of course, share, share, share. We want everybody in the world to be able to call in and exercise their freedom of speech. All right, let's get this one on the road. I almost didn't know where to start this when I started working on this show, because there has been so much cringe. In fact, some happened just yesterday. Some else happened this afternoon. I'll get to those. And so much backwards crap happening ever since I was on the even since I was on the round table on Tuesday, and there was some pretty messed up stuff from there too. So I guess they just pile it on and continue to pile it on to make it hard for anyone to concentrate on any one thing that needs to be taken care of, because it's really hard to do more than one thing at a time. I mean, us multitaskers, but you still have to wait for me every once in a while to sit here and go, okay, where is that again? So, and of course, while they rip us apart at the seams, well, most folks don't even seem to notice anything or everything that they're doing to us. Then, of course, they turn around, and when somebody does complain or say anything about it at all, they blame the hardships on us, or they arrest us, or they beat us up, or, you know, the drill. All right, so, yeah, what can I tell you? I'm opening up the phone lines now, because again, I've got plenty of stuff to cover the 2 hours, but this is your show. All right, the phone line is up. You can call in and tell them like it is. Now, I made this show, you know that, for the exercise of the First Amendment for all citizens of this great nation. Actually, I would prefer it be in the world as far as that goes. But then, again, you always know that there's people out there that want the exact opposite and would rather just watch everything burn down. So, and we can win against these tyrants of the present, but not without speaking out and arguing against the bullshit that they continuously feed us day and night. So call me, and tell them like it is. Your topic doesn't even have to be about what I'm talking about tonight, as you know. Got a voice, got an opinion, got an experience. The world wants to hear it, so call me and tell them like it is. All right, I'm going to start you out with this one. I'm pretty sure a couple of you have seen this probably already. It's actually kind of funny that this particular video, Fox Business, that came up with this remarks that he delivered at the Global Fund and everything like that. This particular part of it comes up at exactly 4:20. Just a fun, useless fact for you. But all I can say is, come on, man!
Mr. President, thank you. At the end of such a momentous event, the word thank you seems kind of inadequate. But for all the millions whose lives will be saved, for the communities where life will be transformed, thank you. So thank you, President Biden, for your outstanding leadership.
This guy couldn't even get through that part with a straight face. And of course, it was more like, it's thank you isn't enough. No, it's more like, get the heck off the stage, dude, or stand somewhere, or do something, or at least somebody come get this guy. All right? And there's just really no words for it except for the fact that we have the absolute weakest people that I've ever seen or ever encountered in my life in our most important offices of our nation. I mean, I've seen stronger feebility. I've seen stronger feebility in the nursing homes when I go and sing for those people. I mean, they have more going on with them than this guy does, and he's running the country. So, and I know that 50 years is not a lot of time, but it's been enough time for me to watch this absolute buffoon walk all over us, all of our lives, and all of our sensibilities for the last 50 years. DJ Brandrack, welcome to the show. Fog, welcome to the show. The world wants to know what you have to say, so call me and tell them like this. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Pastor Chatelet. You're the best. Okay. And YouTube's not too busy today. Alright, but this is one of the things, the title of this, of course, was Darkest Before the Dawn. I'm going to show you some stuff, but I actually found a few rays of light in amongst all of this crapola that we're seeing as well. So, like I say, we'll get to that. And, of course, the phone lines are open. This show is your show. Alright. The guy has been in office. I figured this out today. I sat there and figured this out today. This motherfucker has been in office since I was 6 years old. I'm now considered a senior citizen. Almost. Well, I guess. My mom says no, but my Social Security and all that other stuff says yes. So, but if you even if you go back, this is all a matter of record. All of this stuff is actually on YouTube. I found most of it. In fact, I found a lot of it before he even got elected. I made a video right beforehand begging people, please don't vote for this racist asshole. Because that's what he is. He's done nothing but notice people's race or racial affectations, and he literally called Obama. This blew my mind. I couldn't believe this, that they let him get away with this, because this was actually something, a lot of stuff that was coming out as he was campaigning, or camping, should I say, in his basement while everybody else told when everybody else went out and told everybody how much of an asshole Donald Trump was, and that we shouldn't vote for him. This guy's going to calm everything down. Yeah. Right. Anyway, basically literally called Obama the first clean and good-looking person of color to be nominated for any position of power. So, I guess he really did see Judge Thomas as dirty, uneducated, and unworthy. He did actually fight against his what do they call it when they make them a judge, for his for justice of the peace, or Supreme Court justice. That's what I say. Oh, Pastor Chatelet, thank you so much for the library coin. Appreciate that. I just got this. How did that pass me up? Oh, there it is. Okay. They changed the colors on this stuff again. Ugh. It's hard to keep up with all that stuff. Oatmeal brain. Yes, he is. That's Limited Access says he's an oatmeal brain. He's... Well, even oatmeal brained as he is now, he's always been corrupt. He's always been a segregationist. He went against... He was against... He was against busing, which his own VP told us about that and reminded everybody about that. And then came back, oh, it was a debate. Oh, so what you're saying now is true, or what you were saying before is true? This is why we don't trust you people. People are a lot smarter than they think they are these days. And of course, with all of the drugs that they give everybody to focus, I'm not surprised that people are like, yeah, I can see what's going on here, and I don't like it. But, he's gotten so bad now that he's literally declared war on half of his citizenry. He is the president of the United States, supposedly, but he's declared war on half of his citizenry. Who does that? No United States president has ever done that. Not like this. And he knows damn well that they either won't or won't be able to defend themselves. At least not properly in a lot of cases under his reign. So, and then everybody else just keeps up the charade like he's doing a fantastic job. This guy could barely get it. This guy that was in the video here thanking him and everything could barely get it out. You heard that. Let's see what happens after this.
What's happened today is actually an unparalleled mobilization of resources for global health.
Yeah, this guy's flummoxed. Even he's going, what do we do here? All right. Let's see. Zom, welcome to the show. The Drunken Rocky, welcome to the show. I'm looking at some of this stuff, and I've been watching over the last couple of days. Rick James hasn't been banned or anything like that, has he? Yes, Fun Super Trucker, Biden is racist. He comes up with it every time, and they just give him a pass. They just give him a pass. So, let's go, Brandon, indeed. I'm actually trying to do better with the curse words, too, because I have some family and stuff like that. Not that I really care. I have told them that it is their problem if it gets offensive, but I do want them to share and stuff like that, too. I am a people pleaser in most cases, when it comes to shows, anyway. All right. Well, anyway, I didn't vote for him. So, he's not my president. I just can't believe that there's people still supporting him. And actually, in my opinion, and with everything that's been going on, if you still support this guy, this absolute mush brain, and mush bowels too, then you have the problem, not me. No. You're the bigot, and you condone bigotry, and have for the last at least 3 years now that we know of. Don't like it? You're going to hear the same thing that I kept hearing whenever I would disagree with anything Obama wanted to do that would ruin your lives, and which did. In fact, I could see after the ACA was passed, most of the people that came out and complained about it afterwards were Democrats. Oh, I thought it was going to be great, but I didn't know we were going to have to pay for it. And of course, then they voted for Trump right afterwards, so I mean, that should tell you something. But yeah, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I heard all throughout the 8 years of Obama's presidency. Deal with it. In fact, if you tell me that you're for this old decrepit empty suit, I'm automatically going to deem you a racist. Or whatever phobe I want. Alright? Don't like it? Too bad. You brought this shit on yourself. You don't have any qualms about labeling other folks that you don't even know, so why should I? Just saying. 2 can play at your type of game, and from what I can see, we will be better at it. Just keep poking us. Yes, indeed. Please, the world wants to know what you have to say, so call me and tell them like it is. The number is 409-877-1243. The phone lines are up. I'd love to hear some opinions on this, because this happened just yesterday. This happened just yesterday. All right. Hope I didn't miss anybody with regards to their... let's see. When I was plugging. Right. Don't forget Axe Truth. DJ Brandrek, you might want to proofread before you hit enter. Or maybe you meant that. I don't know. Fun Super Trucker. Swearing is one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, mine too, but I am trying to do a show here. I don't forget. I'll do it occasionally or something like that, but what can I tell you? Always trying to better yourself. What can I tell you? Tell them like DJ Based. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for the library coin. Appreciate it. Much, much, much. All right. Then, of course, we have all these losers. And I do mean losers, the rhinos and the Democrats that aren't going to be in any of their seats in about, 2 months now? Rushing. Rushing. All of a sudden now, nothing else works, so here we go. House passes bill to prevent efforts to subvert presidential election results. All right, so does that mean that they're going to have more people at the Capitol the next time that they count the votes at the Capitol building? That's the only thing I could think of. They're going to change the rules again. Try to change the rules again. That's the only thing that they can do. So for voting for president. So isn't that something? Actually, to be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about this. I'm not. I don't. Well, everything sometimes seems to run together and everything like that. But I know that there are certain things that if you want to get them done, they literally have to be ratified into the Constitution. Isn't this something that actually is ratified into the Constitution already? Don't they have to have a convention of states and all of that to be able to actually change the Electoral College? Because that's basically what they're trying to do here, it sounds like to me. The House voted, this is from the Washington Post, the Washington Compost. But I like to use everyone because I'm not a biased person, but I also can point out if there's bias. And at least they're reporting on it. Usually stuff like this is hidden in the background or whatever. So let's see what they actually have to say about it. The House voted Wednesday to pass an electoral reform bill that seeks to prevent presidents from trying to overturn election results through Congress. The first vote on such an effort since January 6, 2021 attack by the Capitol on the Capitol by pro-Trump mob seeking to stop the certification of Joe Biden's electoral win. Okay, no, that's not what happened, but this is the reason why they're passing the bill. This is the citing that they're using in order to pass this bill. The bill passed on a 229 to 203 vote with just 9 Republicans breaking ranks and joining Democrats in supporting the measure. None of those 9 Republican lawmakers will be members of Congress next year, either because they lost their primaries or chose to retire. So again, like I told you before, the losers are trying to change the rules so that they can continue to be winners, or that their cohorts, in other words, these are the ones that I guess you could say have infiltrated or just went along with the other side. The Presidential Election Reform Act, written by Representatives Liz Cheney, big surprise, and Zoe Lofgren, Democrat of California, explicitly cites the Capitol attack as a reason to amend the Electoral Count Act of 1887 to prevent other future unlawful efforts to overturn presidential elections and to ensure future peaceful transfers of presidential power. Legal challenges are not improper, but Donald Trump's refusal to abide by the rulings of the court certainly was, Cheney said Wednesday during House debate on the measure. When did he refuse to abide by any rules? Again, another law that was made by a bunch of fucking lies. There it comes. See, I told you. I'm not an angel. Later, Cheney added, "Why are we listening to this loser? Isn't she supposed to be like a lame duck now since she's lost her primary? She's not even in the running." She added, "This bill is very important and crucial bill to ensure that what happened on January 6th never happens again. All you needed was extra security, babe. That's all you needed. This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit." Prowler, thank you so much. All right, some cash. You get one of these. Thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate that. Every little bit goes back into what I'm doing here. The growth is happening. The growth is happening. In fact, I can see myself on all 3 channels running smoothly, it looks like. I don't know why that stopped. Maybe I did that on purpose. Sometimes I'll hit a button and not know about it, but everything looks like it's running fine. I am so tickled. And of course, it's all thanks to you guys. You guys help me out. I'm actually able to afford it. At the moment, it's not that expensive, and I got one jig. So I'm very, very happy, very excited. Now, sometimes I wish I played online games, but I probably would lose even with the fast internet. All right. Don't forget the phone lines are all open. I'm going to finish reading this, though. President Donald Trump had falsely told his supporters that Vice President Mike Pence had the power to reject electoral votes already certified by the states. Pence did not do so and has repeatedly emphasized that the Constitution provides the Vice President with no such authority. But on January 6th, many in the pro-Trump mob that overran the Capitol began chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," on the misguided belief that the vice president could have stopped Congress from certifying Biden's victory. Nah, that's actually not the way that he put it. I don't remember exactly, but that's not the way that he put it. As I say, the Washington Compost, as usual, probably being paid by them. Let's see. Yeah, like I say, YouTube's not very busy. Oh, I'm so jealous, limited access. She's making banana bread. That's one of my favorites. Toast it up, put some butter on it, have it with some coffee. Oh. And I'm sure that your homemade butter is awesome. I'll say, you guys are just calling each other names in here. What are you doing? All right. Fogg says, I remember a reporter asked Biden about Afghanistan. Was hilarious. I don't want to talk about gas can right now. Yeah. Crazy, crazy. All right. Prowler Knight says, Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, my dyslexia is in full blast today. Happy Thursday, Lord of Goddess and friends. Sending some love, friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Keck is not on our side right now. He isn't. Okay, Lord Slade says he's looking forward to the White Pill. Don't forget the White Pill. That's the Drunken Rocky show. Right after my show, live here on Odysee. Make sure you go join them over there. He always shows a lot of funny videos. They try to stay pretty non-political. There's a rest from some of this stuff. Believe me, I need it. We all need it. They do pile on and pile on and pile on and pile on until, you know, some people just get tired. You do have to take a break every once in a while. All right. I'm not going to read the rest of this biased article. We found out what we needed to find out, basically, essentially. And you know damn well why all of a sudden that they're doing this. First of all, they're all losing. Every single one of the people on there, they even told you, every single one of those people on there that signed on the Republican side have lost. They're not going to be in office anymore. They either lost or they've resigned or retired because they know they're not going to win anymore. So, and of course, even the legacies are pointing that out right now too. The legacy media. This is a legacy media outlet, even though they're left. You know, number two, they want to make sure that January 6th gets into the annals of our history, no matter what, no matter where, as much as they can. As if there isn't enough about it documented already, all over the place. I just, you know, and it's funny how no matter how much the American people reject something that is presented to them like this, the people who think that they know everything and want power over everything just keep bashing you over the head with it. Like, that's going to make you accept it all of a sudden. Well, they want it to not be forgotten, of course. And, of course, the reason why they don't want it to not be forgotten is, well, I'll tell you that in a second. It's definitely not going to be forgotten, in my opinion. But probably not. It probably won't be remembered in the way that they actually want it to be remembered. It's already not. That's the reason why they keep bashing you over the head with it. But they want that in the public record. But I think there's also a third reason, and this is what I was getting to. This is like everything else they've bashed us over the head with about something they themselves have produced is just another excuse to try to make MAGA. And, you know, I'm not even going to use Republicans because I know a lot of MAGAs. They're not necessarily all Republicans. Hell, even Tim Pool and what is his name? Jimmy Dore. Even those two, as leftist as they are, or as that side as they are, as liberal as they are, and everything like that, still sound like MAGAs every once in a while. Plus, also too, I know gays that are MAGA. I know trans that are MAGA. I know blacks, whites, Chinese, all those different races and everything that are MAGA. So I'm not even going to use Republicans here, as I know and have talked to a lot of folks that are MAGA, okay? But those losers, only one goal is to make certain that these Americans look bad to be able to justify doing bad things to them and calling for bad things to be done to them. So, yeah, if it's in the record and they make it a law, it's okay to persecute people over it at this point. And this is the way that they're doing things now. The space cowboy. Yeah, exactly. If we just followed the Constitution, we wouldn't be having this issue. Prove me wrong. And it's true. It's actually one of the reasons why a lot of this shit's going on. Because the Constitution has just been... They use it for toilet paper. They might as well use it for toilet paper, because right now it's only as good as the paper it's written on, because nobody's enforcing it. And we have people on the other side that are literally bastardizing it and using it to their advantage to rip it apart. So, yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Good evening, sweet Rosa. Welcome to the show on YouTube. Let me see here. Let me check on my Rumble. I'm on Rumble as well. Let's see. Dan the 555 man, watching Pastor and found you here. Salty Army. Thank you. Many still will have Built Back Better on their tombstone next to a ballot encased in a climate change weatherproof box next to the grave. That's very good. Thank you. Thank you for being to the show, Dan the man. All right. Got our first phone call. Greetings. You're on the air.
Oh my goodness. Here I am. Hey, I pulled my Nana bread out.
Limited access. So I'm so jealous. Why are you telling me that? I'm hungry. And I've got 2 hours to go.
Oh, good Lord. All right.
That's okay. I'm messing with you.
All right. So for the third or fourth time, one of my grocery stores was putting out really nice bananas I'm getting bananas for like $1.99 for like almost 5 pounds.
Wow.
You think I'm going to pass that up?
Heck no. And you can freeze banana bread.
Yeah, you can freeze banana bread, and you can freeze the bananas to make banana bread, which I kind of did, because I got tired of making banana bread earlier this month. And I've given a bunch away, but, because I learned a new recipe with making banana cheese bread, with cream cheese bread. That's
okay. That makes more sense.
Hey, so what do you want to talk about? I wrote a bunch of stuff down. I got stuff for seeds and how to do them, and I got stuff for what to stock up on and dehydrating, and what shall we talk about?
Well, let's see. What does the chat want to talk about? I've got a bunch of people in the chat. Let's see how many people we've got today so far. Oh, there's 18 people watching.
I've got
Somebody throw something out there. Somebody throw something out there. Prowler of Night says, that's bananas.
Heck yeah. Hey, sweet Rosa. Good to see ya. I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here on YouTube. We need to bring some more in on the YouTube.
Sergeant Tripod.
And that's just to pull people off the YouTube and get them to other platforms.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I'm actually losing. I lost a bunch of subscribers on Rumble recently too. Like Odyssey, I say, I had 232.
Yeah, Odysee and Rumble. Something's going on with them. I don't know why. Both of them. Something's going on, because I'm having problems getting into and getting stuff to run on that, and that's one of the reasons. ScrewTube works a little bit better for me, and
Sergeant Tripod says, talk about Toast's rectal itch. Just we've got a bunch of degenerates in the.
Hey, Toast is my friend, and I don't know about his rectal itch, but hey, he's a good prepper. That's all I got to say about that. Hey,
well, then he's heard of witch hazel. That's the only thing I can suggest for that, and that's the end of that subject. Thank you.
Well, the thing is, with witch hazel, you can put that on, like, they've got those, diaper wipes and stuff, even for adults. Do not flush them.
Oh, no, don't flush them.
Throw them in the trash. Never flush. Oh, they're flushable. Don't flush them. You'll screw up your septic system. You'll screw up your sewer system. Don't do it.
Oh, it's like a cotton ball,
you,
and it expands, and yeah, you don't want to do that, especially if you got a septic system.
Oh my God! Even when I lived in Colorado, although we had like an old sewer system, because I mean the damn place was around since the 70s. I mean, when them pipes get old and the tree roots get in there, it catches everything, and then it's a mess. It's a mess. So just don't do it. Anyway, so hey, just saying, like, all right. So with my Nana bread, if you have stores that have stuff that's going on sale, process it or freeze it. I mean, like literally, like we had some carrots go on sale. So I bought some, and you can grate them up, and you can either, by the way, guys, buy a dehydrator. Get a dehydrator. You can make, I mean, I've been finding spinach and all kinds of stuff on sale. You can make that green powder, which, I mean, not a whole lot of people like spinach, but you can throw some of that green powder and stuff into your sauces or your stews or whatever, and you get the extra nutrients out of it. Or you can, people do that power green, whatever.
Oh, if they're in their juice or their smoothies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sweet Rosa.
Stuff.
Sweet Rosa says she's feeling a bit under the weather for a couple of days, trying to get better. Well, we hope you feel better. Plenty of liquids.
Well, hey, Sweet Rosa, hey, you need to get some honey, and you need to get some lemon, you need to get some garlic, and you need to get some ginger. And take that honey and garlic and ginger in little tiny jars and mix them up so that you can, not all together, like a lemon honey, a garlic honey, and a ginger honey. And those are going to help you get through the cold season. But just so you all know, the garlic honey is going to ferment, and you got to burp it. I found that out the hard way.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
Make a
burping
mess,
honey
did you?
all over my damn shelf, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Dan Evans Jr. on YouTube, welcome to the show. He says, get well soon, Rosa.
Dan? Yeah.
Get well soon, Rosa. Definitely get well soon. We need as many Patriots as we can get.
For sure. So what I'm doing is, and I've got 2 of those, like, cheap dehydrators, although they're pretty good. I was pretty lucky a couple of years ago, and Menards had them on sale for like $12.50 a piece. And I was like, God, that's like, I could buy one of those on Amazon for $25. I better get them both. So I did. But I'm, when I can pick up the spinach on sale, I'm dehydrating the spinach for green powder. I just dehydrated some of my personal chives. You can grate carrots and do carrots, onions, lemon. I forgot about some of the lemons that I had in the back of my fridge on the bottom, and I'm like, oh, crap, what do I do with them? I sliced them up real thin. It took me probably, I don't know, 24 hours, 32 hours to dehydrate them, but they're in a jar right now, and I can put those in tea or in honey or whatever.
Nice.
And that's a really good thing. Instead of using these medicines that are coming from, they're coming from China. You really think the Chinese want to help us get better? I don't think so.
Nope.
I don't think so. We got to learn how to do some herbal stuff. Rosemary, if you can get it to grow. I've had a really hard time the last couple of years getting my rosemary to grow, but maybe it's because where I'm trying to grow it, or maybe I'm giving it too much water or whatever. I mean, there was one year that it grew really well, but like the last couple of years where I've gotten it from the stores, and I've replanted it, you know, I've really been struggling. Same thing with basil. And these are medicinal herbs that we can use. You're just going to have to research. Rosemary is an antiseptic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing to know. I mean, if you got a sore throat or you got a cut that doesn't want to heal or whatever, you can take some of that and you can do a tincture in with vodka. Hello, vodka. And you can either drink a little bit of it or you can put it on a cut or whatever. If you do the tincture, which is really easy to do, you know, and we need to get away from all these pharmaceuticals. No, I don't trust them anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I just got. I saw a. I think it was Bill Maher was talking to Woody Harrelson, and Woody Harrelson just said something to the same effect. He doesn't. Really? He doesn't trust big pharma either. So.
Oh wow!
It surprised me. It surprised me.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how long he lasts. Let's see how long he lasts after that, though. You know how it goes.
Right, it might be 2 seconds, right? So I was just saying, all right, I'm looking at my notes. Get some honey. And this is like, don't get the honey that's really processed. Get the raw, unfiltered honey. It lasts forever. Forever. I mean, they've got stuff from Egyptian times that's fine. Even if it crystallizes, it's still fine. All you got to do is warm it up and then stir it up. And it might be a little grainy, but it's still just fine. Just fine. But the garlic is really good for when you have a cold. Honey. I mean, who doesn't like tea and a little bit of honey and lemon?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Right? And then the ginger is actually really good for your immune system, too. All right, I'm trying to look at all my notes.
That's actually one of my elixirs when I sing for more than a couple of days at a time. The throat starts to get a little sore, starts to get a little raw or anything like that. So I make myself, I peel and chop up a knuckle of ginger. I boil it in hot water for a couple of minutes.
Don't boil it. Dehydrate it and then crush it up and then put it in the honey. Or you can just take it like I did and shave it off and chop it up. And I've just literally just put it in the honey. And then you can just keep putting the honey in it. And it'll be fine. It'll just keep fermenting.
Oh, well, this is just something real quick usually before a show. You know how it is.
Well, I mean, you could have... Dude, I'll send you some jars. I got your mess going on. I'm going to have to send you some little jars.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I want to tell the people, hey, if your stores have a sale going on, make sure that you process whatever. You can dehydrate it. You can put it in cans. You can freeze it, whatever. You know, because, I mean, sometimes these things, and you'll have to really look and make sure they're not going, like, nasty or rotten. I just recently dehydrated onions, like the Vidalia ones. Mm-hmm. Have you ever bought those French fried onions that you put in, like, a green bean casserole?
Yeah, French is...
It's exactly that. And it took me about 3 onions to fill up a pint jar.
Oh, I always thought those were coated with something.
You don't have to coat them with nothing, man. All you got to do is dehydrate them. And you can dehydrate stuff in your oven as well. Just use, like, I've got one of those, mesh pizza pan things.
Mm-hmm.
And I dehydrate stuff on that all the time, especially the bigger stuff that's not going to, it's not going to fall apart and make a mess on the bottom of the oven. But yeah, that was, it smells like it, it tastes like it, and you know what? You don't have that coating crap on it. You don't need that coating crap on it.
Okay, that's why I say I thought those ones that you buy, they always had some kind of coating on them. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
They do, and you don't need that coating crap on them. You can just, bake them or dehydrate them and then put them, make sure they're dry and put them in a freaking jar and shake them for a couple of days, make sure that they're dry. If they're sticking to the sides, maybe you need to dry them a little bit longer, no problem. You just pour them back out and throw them back in the oven or whatever. And I got those little, the little packs that you get in, like, medicine or vitamins or stuff like that, those things that keep the moisture out that a lot of people just throw away. Don't throw them away.
Oh, you're talking about the little silicate packages.
Exactly. Yeah. Reuse them.
I have a whole jar of those.
Yes, and a lot of people don't think about that. Reuse them. I reuse bread wrappers. When I'm like, all right, so I'm making a bunch of bread right now. I'm gonna put them in once they're cool into the bread wrappers, 2 of them, and I can freeze them, or I can turn around and I can, which I'm gonna do, give them to a bunch of my people, and go, here you go. So, all right. So I'm looking at my notes here. I'm sorry, I'm taking up your whole show.
Baked goods actually make great gifts.
Yeah. People enjoy Nana bread.
Mm-hmm. People like homemade sweets.
Yeah, Nana bread with cream cheese. I've never had it with cream cheese before, but it's so delicious, and I know how to can cream cheese. But I want people also to know, I just recently discovered some of the quote-unquote cheap cream cheese is not real cream cheese. It's not. Don't buy it. Watch what you're buying, because I don't know what they're doing. I've never seen it before, like this last month, that they're cream cheese flavored soybean crap. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. No, nasty. All right, anyways.
Space Cowboy says that rosemary is a dry climate plant. A little water, good drainage, it will thrive. Lavender is another bush that does real well in hot, dry climates. Water in the dry season is paramount. Just because it's cold and there is snow doesn't mean you have water. Yeah.
Well, God bless you, Space Cowboy, because I can't get lavender to grow up here in South Dakota to save my freaking life. But I've got some, and I guess I'm sending some to Laura.
That'll work.
All right, so one of the other things I want people to know about pressure canning, dude, if you're even thinking about putting stuff in jars, get your damn jars ASAP, as many as you can. Wide mouth jars are better for, like, meat and bigger things. You can do the regular mouth jars for, soups and broths, and I can butter in them. I can milk in them. I can all kinds of stuff like that. But if that's the only thing that you can get and you've got to scrape them out, just make sure you got something you can scrape them out with. But don't play around, because and get yourself some lids, because they're getting ready to make us hungry. They're talking about it. I mean, openly.
Oh, yeah.
Which is scary as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, never in my life, and I'm almost 60 years old. Never in my life would I think that our government and any government would be talking about starving us. But like Kissinger said, and I was a little kid when Kissinger was, quote unquote, in power. Control the money, control the food, control the people.
Yep.
He said it. It's on record. And he's not wrong.
Nope.
Control the water. Hello? Hey, people in California, I'm sorry that they're charging you, like, tax on it. They did it to us in Colorado. That's why I left. I was done with it. I was paying 6 cents a gallon for water in Colorado back in 2000 and, 6 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, and then we couldn't collect rainwater in a barrel. They're like, no, you can't get the rainwater. What? Even to water my garden? Nope. Yeah, so, all right, next thing I would like to tell people, make sure, you know, if you got a pressure canner, make sure that you know what you can cook, you can use to cook it. The American canner, it's a really heavy-duty, like, not cast iron, but it's a really heavy-duty aluminum. You can use a propane, and it's better on gas. Whereas the Presto canner is electric, period. Don't try it on gas. You can melt the damn thing, and that's going to be an issue. You're going to be pissed off that you paid, you know, $150 for a freaking canner, and you just melted it. It won't be nice.
Sweet Rosa says, Sweet Rosa asks, you can can your own milk?
Yes, absolutely. Tell her to go to Homestead Heart on YouTube. She tells you how to can your own evaporated milk.
Homestead Heart on YouTube. Homestead Heart on YouTube. Okay.
Yep, she can hear me. Homestead Heart on YouTube. She's a wonderful woman. She's old, down south kind of gal. Been doing this for years. She cans butter too. And listen to her. Do not do all salted butter. Do half and half, just like she says. Otherwise, you're going to end up like I did with salty. I mean, butter that it's just too damn salty to like eat. So I ended up recanning it with some butter that's not salty. And you can make your own butter too, by the way. I take whipping cream. Okay,
that's right.
Heavy whipping cream. Mm-hmm. And I put it in a jar and I shake it and shake it. And it takes a long time. You know, you can do it in, you know, if you've got one of them fancy, what do you call it, KitchenAids or whatever. You
Actually,
can do
it's
that,
funny. I just saw somebody rig something up on a little electric saw that just goes up and down, you know, like that. But they put a thing on it, and then they put
that's an old butter churn. Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. That's awesome. Yeah, because I mean, but I just take it. I mean, I've got those like I don't know, half-gallon, not quite a half-gallon jars that aren't meant for canning, and I wrap around. I wrap a towel around it, a paper towel around it, because they do, once it starts making butter, they leak a little bit. But I'll sit and listen to you or AC or whatever, and I'll just shake that thing. And it might take me, I don't know, an hour to make a pound of butter, but out of 2 quarts of whipping cream, I can get 1.5 pounds of butter and then a quart of buttermilk. So, I mean, it's kind of expensive, but then again, I know exactly what's in it because I can put my own salt in it. I can do whatever, and I put them up in the freezer. I put them in a little, you know, one of them little meat trays, or you can put them in, you know, one of them things that you put food savers or whatever, and you can throw them in your freezer and then cut off what you need as you need it, and it's good forever. I mean, well, as long as butter is, but...
Oh, okay.
Right.
Pastor Shadley just shared that link for Homestead Heart on Odysee. Thank you, Pastor Shadley. He's on the ball tonight.
Thank you, Pastor Shadley.
I'm going to I'll share it.
One of the things that...
I'll share it on the other 2 platforms. Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the other things I wanted to talk to people about, too, was I want you to think about putting some tools away. All right? So, I mean, like, all right, make sure you got your hammers and some wrenches and some extra screwdrivers and stuff like that. Make sure, I mean, I was just thinking about this today. Like spot welders, like something that you can, you know, light up, and if you got to weld something, they're not expensive right now. You can still get them at Harbor Freight or or whatever, don't go to Amazon. Amazon right now is asshole. Just letting you know, because I went to Amazon last night, and they're charging shipping now. They're charging shipping, a lot of money for shipping, but I get why they're doing it. Make sure that you got screws, you got nails. Make sure you got like a saw, a hacksaw. You got like either an axe or a hatchet in case you need it. You know, and you know, make sure you got ways to make a fire. You know, whether it's like, I mean, I took lint out of my dryer and I put wax on it in little, what do you call it, egg cartons.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got little things where I can throw it in there and it's a fire starter. Make sure you've got extra lighters, because where do you think Bic is out of? Oh, I bet you it's out of China. Thank you.
Yeah, all those lighters now come from China, no matter what brand it is.
It doesn't matter what brand, but, you know, I hate to say it, Bic is probably going to be your best bet, and make sure you get a bunch of the long ones where you can light like a grill, or you can light a fire and not be right up in it like a cigarette lighter. Okay, matches. You can get matches right now.
We usually I was going to say, we usually, instead of using a long lighter or anything like that, because actually if you pull those long lighters apart, there's a little Bic inside. It's the same thing. But we usually take and wrap up. My husband actually found out the other day. He said he dropped it and it split apart, and he says, "I'll be damned." He says, "Look at this little lighter that's in there," and it looked just like the Bic, little Bic.
Nice.
But we usually would twist up some paper and like corner to corner and light the end of that and stick it in there rather than.
Yeah, and you can actually take strips of cardboard and put a little bit of wax on them. That'll start a fire.
Yep.
You know, wax just from a candle. I mean, make sure that, all right, so we're going to talk about light real quick. Make sure you got candles put back. All these right now, they're practically giving candles away every other week.
Interesting.
I'm stocked up.
Because, usually candles are quite expensive depending on what you get.
I'm getting them. I'm getting like big ass ones for like $1. I'm like, what the hell?
Nice.
All right, so I'm putting them away, big ass ones with like 3 wicks.
Yeah,
They're soy, but whatever.
Oh, okay. Space Cowboy says South Dakota is super cold. The sage and sweetgrass and wild rice are fully adapted. Rosemary is a hot climate plant. By the way, I'm in Mesa County, Colorado.
Hey, Space Cowboy, I grow it inside on the south side of my house where it's like 90 degrees during the day. I'm watering it too much. That's what I'm thinking. I'm watering it. Same thing with my basil.
He grew up in
putting too much water.
Paonia, Delta County. Put your rosemary in a large planter and keep it inside when it gets cold. Yeah. He wrote me a paragraph there.
It's so damn cold here right now. Fall in the north has fallen really hard. It's so cold that I literally tonight, I mean, I've been thinking about this for about 3 nights. I pulled all my peppers in because peppers do not like cold weather. They like warm weather. Mm-hmm. I got to send you some peppers. Do you like hot peppers, by the way?
Not too hot. My favorites are pepperoni and banana. Anything hotter than that is a little bit much for me.
All right, I'll send you some sweet peppers.
As a white girl.
Some of the hot ones. I like the Thai hot ones. My son went, Mom, you gave me like 1,000 UPAs or whatever the heck it was. I'm like, yeah. All right. So
Sergeant Tripod says cotton balls with Vaseline dipped in wax equals a good fire starter as well.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so light. Make sure that you've got candles, which is also heat, too. And it's also a way, as well as, like, the alcohol burners. I mean, you know, has anybody ever been, I know you've been to like weddings and stuff where they have the chafing dishes.
Oh, yeah.
Those are little alcohol burner things. And you can do that with 90% alcohol. It's not going to, put out fumes or anything like that. It will heat your food and or your plate, and it'll be safe if you've got those put up on some sort of a stand or whatever. Okay, and I'm thinking from the South Dakota thing that, fuck. Although we're pretty good here in South Dakota. I mean, we're going on. Our grid's probably not going to go down, but if it does, I'm pretty set. For light, hey, people need to think about. Do you remember the old oil lamps?
Yeah, I still have a few of those. I've been an antiques collector for a long time, as you can tell.
Well,
and I actually still have some of those lamps.
Right, and I got gifted from my mother-in-law a couple that had never been used, and they're beautiful.
Nice.
Right. So, I mean, just, go to your Hobby Lobby. Go to Walmart. Walmart at one point did have that kind of oil that you could burn in the house. It didn't stink like crazy. Make sure you've got the wicks for those, too. Wicks. And then, again, matches and lighters, et cetera, et cetera. All right, that's the
Sweet Rosa says, you mean those tea candles for buffet-style food? I think that's what she means, the chafing dishes with the tea candles.
Well, no, and the tea candles will actually, you can actually create some heat, and if you've got the right, I've got camp stoves that you put the sterno on. You can actually cook a little bit on something like that with a tea candle, but tea candles, no, not necessarily, Sweet Rosa, not necessarily. I mean, those would be good for trying to keep a small room that's all, like, closed up. And by the way, folks, don't blow out your candles. Snuff them. Otherwise, you're going to have wick black all over everything. It's going to be horrible. All of that oil and all of that, that's what they used to make ink out of. So you don't want that. My neighbor made the mistake of doing that because, she was trying not to make her apartment smell like smoke. So she was burning candles, but she would blow them out. And she literally had to have a service come in and try to clean that wick black off of her carpet and her walls and everything. And I'm like, you weren't snuffing your candles, were you? She's like, no, I was just blowing them out. I'm like, that's why. Because all that smoke with all of that oil and all of that everything was going all over everything. So either get yourself a snuffer or get yourself candles that you can put like a top on, and you won't have that problem. All right. Shall we talk about gardening real quick, or should I let you go?
Go for it.
Let's
see. Let me see what anybody's saying on here. Let me see what they're saying in the chat. MBB, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, MBB. It says, if some of you in here are full autistic, you have to know about this YouTube channel. This guy contradicts the scientists by proving earthquakes can be predicted, and he has proved accurate for years. Dutch Sense Original at YouTube.
MBB, my friend, I miss you. Oh my goodness.
He says his model is flawless. I'll have to take a look at that. I'm not as autistic as a lot of you guys are, but I do get focused on things when I'm interested.
I'm OCD, so I'm not autistic. I guess maybe I am, but I'm really OCD. So over the years, I've really studied, learned, and worked it before I'm opening my mouth here.
All right, they're talking about some hot rod that needed to be fixed. They're not the Mohab friends. Sorry, once you got Mohab, you can never go back. Yeah, okay. National treasure or nothing. Okay, now they're talking about Mohab. Okay, it's almost
cool.
like they're not paying attention to us at all. That's okay.
Oh, goodness.
How you doing, Hallie? Welcome to the show. She's ADHD.
Hey, Hallie girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ADHD. Actually, they're trying to call it something else now because it's not really that you actually have an attention deficit disorder. It's supposedly that...
No, I have OCD. It's OCD, which is different. I mean, it's...
Well, Hallie says she has ADHD.
Well, ADHD, they just want to give you a bunch of drugs, babe, because they did that to my son. Yeah. They're doing it to my granddaughter.
Well, they're actually kind of misdiagnosing it. Yeah, I was gonna say they're kind of misdiagnosing it in a way because a lot of people that have the ADHD are actually more focused on certain things than others. It's not necessarily that they have a deficit of attention. It's that their attention goes...
They're hyper-focused.
Hyper-focused,
Yeah, with the OCD, I mean, I'm glad they,
distractibility disorder?
For it anymore.
Possibly. But as I say, I don't know if it's that, and of course I'm not a doctor or anything like that. In fact, I'm very easily distracted a lot of times too. But I'm thinking it's more menopause than anything else with me. I'm at that age, so.
Oh yeah, whatever. Not.
Oh, I know you have, Sweet Rosa. I was talking about the people in Odysee. They're talking about hot rods and Mohap and all that other stuff. Hallie says she's anxious and depressed. Oh my goodness, you got two of the highest going. I can only imagine.
Hallie, honey. All right, so I'm going to say to you, do yourself a favor, like I did this week, and I unplugged from the news. Just unplug for a couple of days. Listen to some wonderful audio books instead of plugging into the news. I've been listeling to Lord of the Rings, the real Lord of the Rings.
I bet she does that all the time. She's a librarian, I believe.
Well, and just unplug and listen to, an audio book that's going to relax you, and unplug from the news, because right now all they're doing is bombarding us with bullshit.
That's basically what I was talking about when you called. It's basically the theme of the show this week.
Yes, ma'am. What's the mean? No, it's what's the meaning of the second. The second. And all I'm saying to people is, we can get prepared for some of this. We can't prepare for all of it. If they're determined to set off a nuclear weapon, we're all fucked. But I mean, if you can do something in your life to make yourself feel a little more relaxed and a little more comfortable, like I do with trying to make sure that, I've got 10, 12 people to try to make sure, even if we're not eating a whole lot, we're eating something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it. And that's kind of my gig. And then learning how to do some of this stuff. I mean, last year I didn't know how to can. I did it as a kid, and my family did, I think it was just water bath canning. And I learned a little bit, but for the most part, because I was the oldest cousin, I'm watching 12 little kids running around the orchard and the property while the adults are doing their thing. So I kind of really didn't learn. But I knew we had it. And I wish I had some of the recipes now, but I don't, because nobody remembers them. Whatever. Thank you very much.
Right.
Hey, anybody got some nice sweet pickle recipes out there with the cucumbers and the pickles and a little bit of onion in there? Hey, we're talking depression style. Let me know. Anyways, real quick, because I've got one more round of banana bread to do before I try to get to sleep. Gardening. Hey, yeah, I got your mess here together, and I've got the seeds gathered up and everything that I'm going to send you. AC. Hey, I'm going to be writing you here real quick. In America Floats, I think I've got your P.O. box right.
Okay,
Hopefully.
I don't see America Floats on here or AC at the moment. I don't think America Floats has ever been on my channel.
Oh, he sucks then. I'll have to text him, but, yeah. So I'm trying to send some to my folks. Pastor Chatelet, you know, if you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of AC. You guys can send me something. I would like to send some seeds down to you guys in Texas because I know you can grow these. Mm-hmm. And these are seed-saving stuff.
I'm excited. I like trying to grow stuff. I've got a brown thumb, but it doesn't mean I quit trying.
Well, no, don't quit trying. It's a learning curve, totally. I had a black thumb for a long time, and my thumb still isn't pretty green. So, yeah, but seed saving, there's a lot of channels out there. Stacy and Doug have a really good channel for fermenting. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple other ones. I just literally learned how to make apple cider vinegar out of apple peels and apple cores. I mean, seriously, I'm like, what? Yeah,
waste not,
turned out really good. Well, exactly, and you know, if nothing else, I can soak my toes in it and make sure that my toes are all good, right?
Yeah, no fungus here.
Well, been fighting it for a couple of years, and the crap that I bought from the pharmaceuticals, it helped to a certain point, but I'm not paying $20 for a little tiny bottle. Not doing it.
Don't blame you.
Do it the natural way.
They don't do it. They don't give you stuff to cure you anyway.
No, they don't want to cure you. They want you to keep going back and forth to the doctors. And thank God I have a based personal physician. I mean, he's so based. I just love this guy. That's why I'm making banana bread, so I can send him and his people some banana bread tomorrow. Cause I mean, dude, they're awesome. And I can sit down with this gentleman. We both grew up in Michigan, and I can sit down with them, and we both lived all over the United States, and he's really based. I mean, he's just really based, and he asked me about foosball. He asked me about sports ball. What do you think about sports ball? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want sports ball anymore because they got woke. He's like, I said that to one of my colleagues, one of my friends back in Michigan, and they don't want to talk to me anymore. He's like, you're the only person I've ever had say that. And I'm like, yeah, this is why I don't visit you on Zoom chats, and I just come in.
Yeah.
Anyhow, all right. So hold on a second. I was rolling a cigarette. I don't have the Z like Pastor Chatelet. Anyhow, all right. So with your seeds, folks, check your seeds and make sure that they can grow in your climate, just like old boy was talking about. I mean, or make sure that you can keep them warm enough and with enough light in your climate. That's what I'm dealing with right now. I don't think that I don't know that my grow lights are powerful enough on at least on the one side, on the back side towards the house. Towards my window, they're doing great, but on the back side, they aren't liking it. So I'm just not getting what I'd like out of, especially the rosemary. The basil, I killed off like 5 basil plants this year. So I'm thinking I'm overwatering them or putting them in too much sun or not enough sun. don't know. It's a learning curve. If you live in the South, I want you to think about, because it gets really hot. It gets hot here too. We had 90, 100 degree weather, and especially on, I live on the south side of my building. I mean, it gets so hot that you almost have to put the shades down. Yeah, you do have to. But I ended up getting some really cheap jersey, like T-shirt cloth, and I had put it away, and I found it from like Walmart or whatever for, it was, I don't know, 3 or 5 yards for like $4 or $5. Get that, and get some of them really big clothespins like you can get from the dollar store, and then shade your plants during the hot hours of the day, and you're going to find a really big difference. Don't water your plants in the morning, because what's going to happen is they're not going to be able to absorb that before the heat comes on, and they'll cook. You'll steam them. You don't want to steam your plants. Wait till the sun goes down and go out and water them in the evening once everything's cooled down a little bit. And that way they can absorb the water, they can cool down, they'll be happy plants. Right now, before the fertilizer is either not available or so expensive you can't afford it. Right now, like my Walmart, blowing out the fertilizer. It's on sale, big time sale. Get your fertilizer, get your nutrients. Learn what you want to grow and what nutrients it needs, because different things need different nutrients. Beets like a lot of nitrogen. Cucumbers need something different. Tomatoes need something different. And tomatoes are really persnickety. They want something different every month.
Yeah, I found out that tomatoes are pretty persnickety.
They're persnickety, but if you want them, all right, so if you want them, once they get the flowers, as long as it's not super hot, you got to, like I said, shade them and give them not super hot weather, okay?
Yeah.
Or super hot conditions. You grind up those aspirins, boil them for 6 minutes, let that cool down, put that in a spray bottle, and once you see the flowers going, you spray a little bit of that at night on the flowers. You will get fruit. It makes it fruit. I don't know why. It's a hormone thing or whatever. It works because, I learned to do that, and I've been getting mine to fruit. All right.
Nice.
I'm looking at my thing.
Sweet Rosa says she needs to take a break from social media. Did you guys see the TikTok video of the man using NyQuil inside of chicken breasts? I didn't see that, but I actually did see one of the talking heads talking about it, because the CDC, I think, put a warning out about it, that it's actually poisonous. There's actually been a few people that have gotten very, very ill doing that, and it was actually a TikTok challenge.
What do you mean NyQuil inside a chicken breast?
I don't know how they did it. Like I say, I didn't see the video of him doing it, but I did see one of the talking heads talking about it, because they were reporting on the fact that the CDC was warning people against doing that because it's dangerous. It's poisonous or something. I'm not sure if you can trust the CDC, but that's...
breast. Oh, good to know.
But yeah, that's not something I would actually do anyway. What the hell would it... NyQuil tastes like crap. No matter how cherried up and everything.
The only time I use NyQuil
gross.
Is if I'm sick and need to sleep.
That's disgusting. And then you don't want to put it in chicken. You just take a swig of it and then drink a bunch of orange juice or something afterwards. Actually, you know what? I don't even actually drink it anymore. I get the capsules if I need that stuff. But most of the time, instead of any of that over-the-counter junk, I will try the ginger and the honey and all that stuff first.
Exactly. Try to go. You know, we need to get off these pharmaceuticals. They fucked us with the you know, and I don't trust them anymore. You know, my doctor, because I've got RA really bad. You know, they want me to go do and then I got to go down and get the first one because they want to make sure I don't keel over from it. And I'm like, oh, I kind of don't want that. So the next one up is something that I have to give them all of my information, all of my, you know, what we make and blah, 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 and all this, so that the pharmaceutical company has all of my information so that they can help me pay for this $3,000 a month shot. I'm like, oh, no, just give me Tramadol. Yeah. So that's what Doc and I are doing. All right. I gotta go get this done. All right. So a couple more things here. Make sure you get the nutrients and the fertilizer right now because they're talking about cutting us off from being able to fertilize our plants. I picked up a bunch of different stuff because it's the end of the season and Walmart is blowing it out here at decent prices. I mean, pretty decent prices. Get whatever you can. I don't give a shit. Get bone meal, get your 24. All right, so when you're going on the high one, the 24, which is the N, that's nitrogen, which is going to make it sprout up. That's what you need to start your plants off. But you don't want to keep giving that, like, Miracle Grow kind of crap if you want stuff to fruit.
Oh hell no! That stuff burns. That stuff burns your. Isn't that some of the same stuff that made by Monsanto? There's no way.
Yeah, well, you don't want you can do that when you start stuff, but don't keep giving it to it. You gotta.
Miracle Grow can just go. Nah.
Well, I've got like Jobs and other kind of stuff that I haven't been having a problem with. So, and you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I've got like some of the I compost. All right, so this is one of the last things.
Oh, Rocky.
Compost.
He's complaining.
Compost.
Rocky's complaining. We're putting him to sleep. What, are you living in an apartment somewhere? This is important.
Nigga. All right. I got to get off here then. All right. So nitrogen fertilizer. Do yourself a favor. Go in and research what kind of plants you'd like to grow, what they need, and fucking write it down on in a little, like, journal. Just do it. Because I might not be able to talk to you next week. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you never know.
Might happen. All right. Get the seedling soil, the really light stuff when you're going to go start stuff. Get that right now, too, because that's probably stuff that's on sale right now, and even potting soil.
Anything growing or seed wise or farm wise or anything like that's going to be on sale right now because the season is over. Everybody's actually, if they've been planting throughout the year, they're harvesting it by now.
Right.
And the seeds, you don't want to do starters unless it's a fall plant at that point.
All right. So, and another thing, you can go into your Walmart and they'll either give them to you or sell them to you. You can get food grade buckets, 2.5, 3 gallons, sometimes 5 gallons, maybe not so much. But you can put soil in there, and then all of your food scraps, man. You're peeling potatoes, you're peeling carrots, you're cutting stuff off. It's not quite right to eat. Throw those in there, and you know what? You're going to have the most rich soil that you can ever imagine.
That helps a lot. It'll save you on the fertilizer too, because the fertilizer, even the all natural stuff, has probably got some kind of connection to Monsanto or whatever.
Well, and that's true. I also recommend when you get like the manure type soil, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When you open that 2 cubic foot thing up that they've sucked into nothing, it stinks. When you do like manure, like I did chicken manure, oh my God, on my plants this year, it stinks so bad. But it disperses in a week, maybe 2, but the plants did really well, and I know that the soil was renutriated. All right, last thing, hey, make sure you get bone meal for your tomatoes. I talked about boiling the aspirin to make your tomatoes actually fruit. And then if you're growing squash and shit, you get mildew, mix peroxide, like we use on us, with some water, put it in a spray bottle, and at night, spray those leaves down on the top and on the bottom, and that can get rid of the mildew on those plants.
Ah, okay.
All right. I'm putting your people to sleep. Hey,
just Rocky.
Fuck you all. I love you anyway.
Just Rocky. Oh, Rocky. All right. It was a pleasure talking to you, though. I appreciate you calling and giving us all that information. Everybody's got the
Good Lord, it was three like bill envelopes full of shit that I wrote down today. Good God Almighty. All right, girl. I got to go cook some more Nana bread. I'm going to put you back in my ear. I love everybody. Pastor Chatelet, Rocky, yeah. I might be putting you to sleep, but you better listen, bitch. Because you know what? Rocking it out ain't gonna feed your ass.
That's true. That's why I told him this is important. I know he's excited and anxious to get to his own show too, but I still have got half an hour, and if I go over, so what?
That's right. That's right.
My show.
Talk to you soon, girl.
All right, thanks for calling.
I got the seeds gathered up, and I'm getting ready to send them to you.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Love you, bunches.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Good night. All right. Shout out to the caller. That was Limited Access, everybody. She is our resident prepper. She sounds like she knows what she's doing, and she only just started doing this about a year ago or so she says. So that's pretty kick-ass, and it doesn't take long to learn things, especially if you stay focused on it and you really need to do these things as far as that goes. All right, before she called, we were talking about how this new law that they're passing in the House to try to make it illegal for anybody to question an election, basically. Whether it, they're claiming that it's preventing any president from trying to disregard the rules with regard to it. This was all bullshit. We knew this. It's basically they're doing that to shove it down our throats again, make sure that it's in the public record so that everybody remembers how horrible all of this was, but also to make MAGA personnel, I'm not going to even say Republicans because they're not all Republicans, but to actually make Republican or MAGA personnel look bad and be able to justify doing things to them or calling people to have things done to them, all right, which is wrong, and a lot of it sounds to me like this goes against the Constitution as far as that goes as well too. I'm not an expert on that stuff, but I do know that we do have a lot more rights and freedoms than they're letting on and that we're allowed to, or that they're claiming that we're allowed to. But then this is also the fact that they want to do this and make everybody look bad. This is why this is happening right here. Why do you think this guy's now out walking around? This makes me very angry. And I'm pretty sure that this poor kid's family are just distraught as hell over this. Man released after running over a team that he deemed a Republican extremist, court docs showed. This is from the Daily Beast. Now, you know there's a problem when even the Daily Beast is bringing this to people's attention. In fact, their first little blurb here says outrageous. And of course, you know how much the Daily Beast always attacks the right. So that's one of the reasons why I pulled this one up, and I noticed it because it's like, wow, even the Daily Beast is saying that this is incorrect. Shannon Joseph Brandt was charged with vehicular homicide after running over an 18-year-old Kyler Ellingson on September 18th, authorities say. A North Dakota man who admitted running over and killing a teenager says he did it because he thought the teen was a part of a Republican extremist group. First of all, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a Republican extremist group. If you'll have to tell me who they are, because I'll be against them as far as that goes too. That was out to get him, according to court documents. So this guy supposedly sounds like he was paranoid. When he supposedly he had an altercation with this kid, did he feel that he lost against this kid? Did he feel that he lost the argument against this kid? I mean, Shannon Joseph Brandt, 41, what were you arguing with an 18-year-old for in the first place, was charged with 1 felony count of vehicular manslaughter, which is not enough, and 1 count of leaving the scene of an accident in the death of 18-year-old Kyler Ellingson on September 18th. He was also charged with driving under the influence after he tested above the legal limit for alcohol, authorities said. So the drunk driving actually should take him off the road no matter what, but it's not going to, because he claims to be a leftist. He claims that, oh, look, see, I killed a Republican. I did good, according to Joe Biden, of course. The incident took place in McHenry, North Dakota, which is a population of fewer than 40 people. Really? McHenry, North Dakota? Is that right? Limited access, only 40 people in McHenry, North Dakota? That must not have been a very fun dance party or whatever they were at if there's that many people there. According to a probable cause affidavit published by Law and Crime, Brandt told investigators he and the younger man had a verbal altercation about politics at a local street dance. Brandt indicated that the pedestrian called some people and Brandt feared they would come for him. The affidavit states Brandt admitted to state radio that he punched the pedestrian and that the pedestrian was a part of a Republican extremist group. So he assaulted him before he hit him with the car? Seriously? Not to mention the fact that he's in a car, and this guy's a pedestrian, but he thinks that these guys are after him. What the hell were they going to do? Dent his car? Break out some of the headlights or something like that? They couldn't have done anything to him. After Brandt allegedly ran down Ellingson, actually it's not allegedly, he already admitted to it, there's no allegedly there. He left the scene and went home, but told police he later returned and called 911, telling the dispatcher that he struck the pedestrian because the pedestrian was threatening him. Really? He's in an SUV and the pedestrian is threatening him. Did he have a gun? What did he do? Flip you off? Probably not. Probably not even that. He then left again before first responders arrived, authorities said. Ellingson was found lying in the street and was rushed to a hospital, but he later died of his injuries. His mother gave investigators a drastically different version of events. Court documents show she said the teen had phoned at about 2:41 a.m. to ask if his parents knew Brandt, which they did. He then called again a short time later and stated that he or they were chasing him, and after that she was unable to reach him. So yeah, that was the phone call he was calling. He was calling his mom. A GoFundMe set up to help Ellingson's family pay for funeral expenses described the teen as a wonderful and loving son and said he was taken away too soon, way too soon. The fundraiser had raised nearly $28,000 as of Thursday morning. Good. I'm glad that the GoFundMe didn't take it down because they believed this asshole that ran him over. Because you know they would have. They're doing this to anybody that's they're doing that to anybody that's on the conservative side or that's not on the left or doesn't agree with everything on the left. Brandt, who was first booked at his home on driving under the influence and later charged with the felonies related to the hit and run, has since been released from Foster County Jail on $50,000 bond. So, these assholes really are hoping that he'll do this shit again. They found yet another useful idiot that will go around targeting folks and either injuring them or killing them now. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, all you have to do is disagree with him about politics and maybe wear a red piece of clothing or article or something, or even have a bumper sticker. And then he gets to decide that you are an extremist and will then paint a target on you. And, well, we know the rest already. Then this garbage human has the nerve to tell everyone that he's not a bad person and that he has so many things that are so important to him that he would never run. He's going to stay and take his punishment while he gets to keep his job and his car and his house and his family. The only reason anyone would ever say anything like that is if they know that there's not going to be any consequences. Yeah, I'll stay and take my my punishment because he knows there's not going to be any punishment. That's right, 409-877-1243 if you want to call in the show. Demon Goddess, welcome to the show. Hello there, beautiful. Hugs can't stay, just wanted to show you love and uptoot you. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for being awesome as well. All right, let's see. I'm your ninja. Welcome to the show. Yeah, according to the phone call, she did know the guy. I'm not sure to what capacity that she knew the guy. Of course, if there's only 40 people in that area, in that particular city or county or whatever like that, I'm pretty sure everybody knew everybody. At least the adults, anyway. Okay, so, but this kid's life and all of his family's lives and all of that other stuff, they weren't important. And you just made this decision for the entire world that we're better off without them. I say this guy can go fuck himself. And he needs to. And in fact, I hope you get everything taken away from you like you just did in a flash when you decided for someone else that they shouldn't have a life because they disagreed with you politically. You are a garbage human being and you shouldn't be on the streets. All right, we'll keep up with this story because you know this isn't the end of this. And if he did it once, you know damn well he'll do it again. And there aren't that many people in his town, so just keep in mind that this guy killed a future medical provider as this kid was going to study to be an ultrasound tech. I guess medical professionals are not as revered as they once were. Of course, this guy didn't take any time to find anything else out about this kid other than the fact that he didn't agree with him politically. Shame on you. Absolute shame on you. You're a dick. All right, guys. Ready for some levity? Actually, I would have had it a lot sooner in the show, but we got that long phone call. That's okay. I'm not complaining. Again, 409-877-1243. I'm sure that you guys have stuff to say about some of this stuff. And I might be missing something when it comes to whatever's going on. I'm one person. I don't have producers. I don't have researchers. I do all this stuff myself, including all of the programming and the broadcasting. In fact, like I say, I'm to a point now since I'm on Rumble 2. Excuse me. Since I'm on Rumble 2, I need another screen over here now. Everything's kind of squished in here. I'm having a full screen everything to see it and then put it back down and then full screen something else and put it back down. Okay, so time for some levity. I thought this guy was hilarious. He's I think he's kind of an inventor. Knackers is his TikTok. He does foods, but he also does electronics and different things like gaming and stuff like that. He's got a pretty big channel. But this was hilarious, so I'll share it with you. A little levity.
No, I did not just do that. Oh!
Greetings, you're on the air.
Hi, it's me. It's Hallie. Hi. I can't talk too long because I'm here at work. But when you were talking to this guy, I heard about the one who shot the other guy for being a Republican. Was he I wrote in the comments, was he a Bernie supporter? I remember after Trump's election, and then someone shot Washington, the baseball players, and he was saying 8 Republicans. I mean, it turned out to be a Bernie. He was very active in the Bernie Sanders.
Oh, you talking about the guy in North Dakota that ran over the kid?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, okay. Actually, I don't know what he is. He sounds like whatever. He sounds like a shit lib to me. He's a Democrat, or at least.
Well, yeah, but they really well.
But I have no idea who he. I don't have any idea who he backed per se. They don't tell us that. I haven't seen any of that in any of my research.
I'm just worrying about a trend.
Well, I was going to say anyone that's on that side now has been instructed by our president that anybody even remotely against that side is a threat, and they're making excuses. Like I say, before you came on and before because she was on the phone, I had gone over the article with the House. The House has passed a law now that essentially doesn't allow you to question the elections anymore. I
heard it. I was listening to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're citing that it's January 6th and that Trump was all up. Just the same lies they've been telling since the beginning, as far as that goes.
Yeah. So if anyone gives a damn, I don't know. It's just living in such a it's very discouraging. Just listening to that prepper, I'm going like, I'm so spoiled. I don't know if I should. I sometimes I feel like in the back of my mind, should I start storing stuff? I don't know.
Yes, ma'am, you should. Actually, you should be very careful.
Yeah.
Since you live in the city, if you do that, you're going to have to protect yourself some way, because people find out that you have it and things go awry. They're going to come try and take it from you, too.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I don't know. Well, see, I'm more worried about what's happening in Russia. If that guy, if he starts to nuke us or whatever, Putin.
Yeah, that was actually pretty scary too. We tried to look at that on the Tuesday roundtable last time, and we couldn't find anything that had translations. We saw the video of Putin talking about it, but we didn't understand what he was saying because there was no translation. So, the next day it came out that's what he was talking about. So that's pretty scary too. But I think we have more to worry about here. Our own people are trying to starve us out and screw us over. So
I know. Well, that's what I say. Collapse of civilization. I don't know. That, I'll, by the way, the person that said it, turn off all the gadgets and stuff. I mean, fortunately, Rosh Hashanah is coming, Sunday night, so at least 2 days I won't have to listen to this stuff. I've gotten so addicted, but so I wish everybody a happy, blessed New Year. I just worry about, I pray a lot, but we'll see. I guess we can just see and comment and whatever, Okay. Anyway, next week I'll be on my day schedule. It's easier for me to catch more. I'm here juggling we're doing shelf inventory, so I got to get back to that.
Oh, fun.
Okay. Anyway, wish you a nice week. I wish you a nice weekend. Okay.
Well, thanks so much for calling. You stay well now. Let us know how you're doing.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
All right. Hallie, she's been calling me since day one. I think I met her on ABL's show. I've heard her call there before. We both heard each other call there before. Limited Access says he's not going anywhere. He's going to get what he's got coming. Is he, though? They've already let him out of jail. And this was premeditated. He's going to claim self-defense, but there's no way. There's no way. This 18-year-old kid wasn't menacing him. I guarantee you he wasn't menacing him. And when he made phone calls, he was calling his mother. Anyways. All right. Thank you for the call, Hallie. Welcome, everyone, to the show. Let's see if I got anybody. Pitbull Doorbell. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here. Oh. Trying not to miss out on anybody. All right, another phone call. Greetings, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Laura? How's it going?
Not too bad. This sounds like fog.
It is.
How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Fantastic. I'm getting to do what I love.
Beautiful. Nice. Great. Love the show as usual. Always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. Yeah, they kind of not pressure me to call, but I kind of wanted to call anyway. It's nice to talk to someone who's like-minded, of course. It was kind of a nerve-wracking thing for me to do, but I did it anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you faced your fears, because I can't bite you through the telephone, and I wouldn't anyway unless you asked.
Right.
And even then, maybe not.
Yeah, oh, of course. Well, lately, I've been researching, the whole current affairs situation for pretty much since I saw it on the news originally. I kind of started out with, 9/11, and that was a whole, huge thing that happened that really affected the whole entire, world situation. And then when COVIDs came out, it was a whole nother ballgame. They're really essentially ramping everything up. And as per my research, this has been going on for probably 300 years, maybe even longer. They've been planning this for a while. It comes to no surprise to them and their whole bloodline, essentially.
Probably ever since we formed the union that they've been trying to, because it's always been human nature to try and rule over others. It's always just the weakest, survival of the fittest and stuff like that. So I get you.
For sure.
Understandable.
Totally. Even one thing that was really peculiar to me, even I had asked Pastor Shadley about this. I was asking him what the first corporation ever created was. And I forgot what he had said, but I was doing my own research, and I found out it was the Virginia Company, which is owned by the City of London, and they're owned by the Vatican, and that is Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big, whoa, holy fuck moment for me. And then I found out the monarchy, they made all their money, or a lot of their money, through the British East India Company, where they were selling opium to China. And they were linking up with eugenics companies even back then. Even you can trace Bill Gates' bloodline all the way to even Louis Pasteur and Charles Darwin, and they were second cousins. Even back then, they were already talking about eugenics. But the first major campaign was the Spanish flu, which was bullshit. It wasn't from Spain, and it was not the flu. It was like horse cultures mixed with chemicals and heavy metals, and in some way, shape, or form, I guess it was contagious. And that was like the prelude to COVID-19. Mm-hmm. That's what I had researched, which was really freaky to me, because the same bloodlines are doing it now. Because the Gates and the Rockefellers, they own the American Medical Association, and they actually created the public school system. Even 100 years ago, they were already trying to indoctrinate people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the elites always thought they were better than everyone else. They've been trying to be God ever since man was created, I believe.
For sure, yeah. Even like I mentioned Shadley before, he thinks you can trace their bloodlines to the pharaohs. And for the longest time, I thought the Rothschilds were number one, but I don't think that's the case. I think they name changed, and I'm pretty sure their bloodline probably comes from whoever created the Vatican. And they're they created the first banks on Earth with the Knights Templars, and ever since then they've just been stealing people's resources and land. There's nothing new under the face of the sun. Even lately I've been trying not to think about this, but it's kind of hard not to.
Well, it's one of those things, and even people from the left are saying this stuff now too, is once you see this stuff, you can't unsee it.
For sure, totally. It's a trip, actually, how for lack of a better term, how coordinated these people are. And they're really rich. They're trillionaires, and they're not even rich, per se. Mm-hmm. They created money. They don't have to be rich anymore.
Yeah, and you listen to a lot of them talk. They've passed this down throughout the ages, pretty much. But then they have a problem. They're trying to take it away from anyone else being able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what they're doing. Even I think $1 in any sort of domination of money, before 1933 was redeemable in gold and silver. And then it says legal tender now. It's not worth shit.
Right.
You know, you can't even. Sometimes you can take out $1 and eat it, but you can buy like a candy bar with it. Not anymore, but it's just the most retarded thing ever. And it's funny because for the longest time as well, I thought the Gates family was much more powerful than they actually are. They're probably not that powerful. They're just affiliates of the people who are actually in charge.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I talked to really stupid people. They told me to get vaccinated. Every time I asked them what are the ingredients, they're dumbfounded. I had one person tell me, I just trust doctors. I'm like, fuck doctors. Why would I trust them? Just because I don't have a degree, I'm not allowed to talk about virology, apparently. I have to go to, like, 6 years of classes that's going to cost me $150,000. And I'll be in debt for the rest of my life. I'll have to make small payments, and hopefully I'll be dead before they try to collect the rest of it.
Yeah, well, I actually saw 2 videos today about that. One of them was this lady sitting there eating noodles, talking about how that that people MAGA Republicans haven't been banned from different places, basically, and she's sitting there, you know, with her Harvard degree or whatever it is, talking about, they're only all just uneducated white people anyway. And then there's a lady that's actually trying to be confirmed to the what was it? I have it here. I was gonna do a video about it. But her name is Colleen Shogan.
Really?
And she's somebody that was actually I saw a video. She was being grilled by one of our base congressmen with regards to an article that she wrote about the fact that anybody that's not a Democrat is an uneducated. In fact, she talked about how the Republican type presidents always seem to use rhetoric that would appeal to the dummies, basically. And calling those presidents pretty stupid as far as that. Basically, the way she would word it and everything like that. And this guy was reading her the riot act about it, because she's claiming to be nonpartisan, but all of her articles and everything that she's ever written is partisan, and essentially calling the Republican presidents and anyone that voted for them dumbasses. So these educated assholes literally think they're better than everybody else.
For sure. You know, that actually kind of reminds me of some of my family members that went to university and college. They have this superiority complex for sure about them.
Exactly.
I wish I don't know why. It's like these motherfuckers are thousands of dollars in debt.
I've met some.
And get the same education.
And I've met some of the most educated idiots on the planet. I'm sorry. Education does not mean smart. Doesn't mean wise. Doesn't mean any of that stuff.
Of course, for sure. You know, even for the longest time, some of my so-called friends, they were alienating me because of the things I was talking about. But I was talking about things that were actually happening, like current affairs, history. That really intrigued me since I was even in high school, and I never really let it bother me. I would rather cut them loose than stop being who I was. You know.
Exactly, and unfortunately, that's the way it's got to be. That's in fact, it's even warned us in the Bible as far as that goes, that usually the smartest people and the most godly people are always going to be the ones that are persecuted because of that, because nobody really wants to know the truth.
For sure. I remember watching this documentary called Zeitgeist, and I was like super juiced after I watched it. There's so much information in that documentary, and I was talking to my buddy about it, and he's like, "Who gives a fuck?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Who gives a fuck?" I couldn't really vibe with that kind of a thing, you know. So I continuously like to learn, even maybe sometimes I don't completely comprehend the whole situation, or I might be missing something, but the whole gist of it is very clear to me. You know, there's definitely some hierarchy working in this world that's been around for way too long, and the measures they will take to secure this plane of existence for themselves is beyond anyone's imagination. They'll do anything, even kill one of their own family members off, like they did Kennedy.
Yep. Well, that's why I keep reminding people that that side over there does this, and their motto is by any means necessary. We have to be prepared for anything, because they have no qualms. They'll label you. In fact, Nancy Pelosi, she laid it out. They'll label you something, and then they'll advertise it, and they get the press in behind it and everything like that, and they market it, and then all of a sudden somebody's a racist that's never even looked sideways at a black person or another person. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way they do.
Exactly. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I didn't want to bring this up. It's kind of sensitive to some people, but you know the whole Monsanto thing, like Bill Gates, IBM, Microsoft, Planned Parenthood. There's even another one called it's called Pathfinder International. It was the first multinational abortion clinic, and it's fucked up because it was owned by Clarence Taylor Gamble, and Taylor is a subname for Gates. And Bill Gates' grandfather was working with him, and Margaret Sanger. And Margaret Sanger created Planned Parenthood, but before it was called Planned Parenthood, it was actually called the Negro Project. They were specifically targeting black people, you know, and these same people are connected to Time Warner through BlackRock and Vanguard, and Time Warner owns every single news station on Earth, and they own Hollywood. They own Universal Studios, they own Disney, they own Nickelodeon, and it's fucking weird because Bill Gates' great-grandfather, Frederick Taylor Gates, he owned First Interstate Bank, which became Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo is owned by BlackRock, and BlackRock also now owns all the investments for JPMC now, JP Morgan Chase. So they're all fucking connected, and they're racist as possible. They're super racist. Even Margaret Sanger, she spoke at a Ku Klux Klan rally, and Bill Gates' great uncle, there was a secret society called the Knights of Pythias. And the whole entire group of them actually merged with the Ku Klux Klan in the 1800s, or maybe somewhere around that time, like the late 1800s, or whenever the Ku Klux Klan was really active. Which I think they still are today. So I think,
I'm not surprised at all. In fact, the thing that tells me that they're the most racist is the projection that they point. They do the thing and then they point at everybody else for it. Nobody's buying that shit anymore.
For sure, yes, it's political gaslighting. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book.
Yep.
You know, it's almost quite comical of people. They really believe this shit. Like, I see my dad watch the news. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why don't you watch the cooking channel or something? Learn something new, or I don't know, anything but watching the news. I don't even watch TV anymore.
They've made it really addictive.
Have to force me to watch the news.
Yeah, they've made it really addictive. My dad was the same way for a long time until he started seeing different things. He just all of a sudden, you know, started really. Well, actually, when the Republican Party started letting him down a lot more, because he's always been a Republican, but when the Republican Party started letting him down, that's when he started realizing that the news was going that way. He stopped paying for cable. He doesn't. He watches. He now watches OAN, I think. And only OAN or something like that. So, yeah.
I like my media, too, you know. I watch, like, Japanese cartoons and, like, crying drama films. But even me, like, I was brought up on TV, and I don't even like it anymore. And I'm not even 30 years old, and I already saw, like, it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I'd rather go fishing or watch a documentary.
Well, do like me. I make my own TV. Like we're doing right now.
For sure. Yeah, you're hella cool. You're awesome.
Well, thank you.
You guys are all really smart, and I've actually learned quite a bit that I have not heard from anybody else, from people in this community. You know, it really broadened my horizons. I thought I knew a lot beforehand. It's either I was around retarded people, which I probably was, and I wasn't around enough smart people simultaneously, which definitely has a big impact on people, you know.
Yeah, well, that's something about knowledge. That's actually something about knowledge. Once you have some knowledge, you start to crave it. You start wanting more knowledge, and that's not a bad thing. Never stop learning, because the more you learn, the more you're going to find out you don't know.
Exactly, for sure. Even I kind of had a reality check recently, because I was sitting down in my room and I was thinking, like, do I really know what I'm talking about? And I was trying to go over it in my head. I'm like, holy fuck, like, I have all these puzzle pieces together, but sometimes it's hard to put them all together. You know, if that makes sense. I feel as if I'm good at illustrating my point, but there's also so much I'm missing out at any given time, you know, which it just goes to show how deep the rabbit hole is. You can't even scratch the surface in a lifetime.
Yeah, well, I actually agree with Prince. There was one he did an interview one time, and one of the things he said was very profound. He says, "I do not believe that the human body was meant to take on and try to solve every single fucking problem on the planet or in the universe." And I have a tendency to agree with him with that. Yeah. In fact, even God tells you that and chooses you for certain things.
Yeah, you'll go fucking crazy if you try to figure it all out. First, you'll get stressed out. Unless you're the kind of person that can resist that kind of a stress. But even me, like, I know quite a bit. I study all the time because I don't watch TV anymore. Mm-hmm. Even I have, like, all these pictures on my phone, like, diagramming everything, and I just sit there looking at it in amazement, like, holy shit, this is just way too much for one person. But one thing I do know is I don't like fucking hospitals. I don't like dentists, and I don't like government buildings, and I don't want to be inside them anymore.
Yeah, well,
I'll probably be safer.
That's not a bad thing either. It's. I don't know if you can be safe there, especially if you're anything other than a weirdo leftist. These people are getting away with murder.
Even, yeah, no, it's bad. Even there was that dude, I think Salty Cracker covered him. He had an axe, and he was in New York in a McDonald's smashing the shit out of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck? No one's going to get up and punch him in the face? Not one person's going to say anything to him? No one has a taser on them?
Yeah, and then they had the nerve to give him an interview. They walk like a man on the street walking down the street, and he had the nerve to try and tell everybody also, too, how good of a person. Oh, I'm really a good person. I just got upset and all. No. No excuse for that shit. That's not normal.
No, that's...
Not to mention the fact you owe whoever owns that McDonald's repairs and everything like that. That's going to take a lot of money to repair. And they have to do it up to certain standards. They can't just, wing it. So he needs to be sued. If nothing else, he needs the owner of that restaurant needs to sue the shit out of him. See, he came in there, just vandalized the whole thing. Now the guy, not only did he interrupt the guy's business, but also, too, anybody that was working there, they're not going to be able to work for a while now. It's like, what the hell? And this guy gets to get on camera and tell everybody how great he is? Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that shit. No, yeah, fuck that. Even with the whole George Floyd thing, I know it's kind of cliche to bring it up at this point, but it's just a total psychological operation. I think they're doing it on purpose just to see how stupid people are to believe this shit.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, I think it's just it's one big intelligent quotient test, even COVID. And most people, they don't know this. I try to tell people, but they look at me like I'm fucking retarded. I tell them it's not a real disease, obviously. I don't think it is. It's an acronym. It stands for Certificate of Vaccination Identification. It's a brand new passport. It's just meant to further travel restrictions, and they're bringing back the old school eugenics campaign. They won't even Uruguay, the president, he sent a formal request to the CEO of Pfizer. He said, can you just give us the list of ingredients that are in every single dose of vaccination? And they refused, and they actually moved all of their vaccination facilities out of Uruguay a couple of months ago. Because they couldn't answer the question, and they're in violation of the Nuremberg codes. And they're all a part of the UN. That's one good thing the UN actually did, but they only really used that once. That was right after Nazi Germany collapsed. And that's a whole nother can of worms I'd rather not get into. I have my own ideas about that one.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Rougarou!
Hitler was definitely part of one of their 13 bloodlines.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way he rose to power that fast, and he's probably a Rothschild. I heard he was a wedlock baby. But his parents were never married, and It was like Baron de Rothschild in Austria, I believe. But they're all over the place. You know, they commit incest all the time. There's French ones, Bavarian ones, Khazarian ones, British ones. It's just weird that they're 4 different races.
Well, now they do
I
that.
just don't see how that's possible.
Yeah, they do the incest thing to keep things in the family. You know, and
exactly.
And I would venture to say that a lot of these actors, actresses, all these people that are in Hollywood, they have something to do with, or they're related to some of these people too. Just like Zuckerberg, he's not just some college schmuck that came up with this.
Exactly. You know, people, they really believe he just created it in his garage in Silicon Valley. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That was DARPA. You know DARPA, right?
Yeah.
It's the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency that was created by the United States military. They created the internet and the deep web. And it's all surveillance, social media. People literally just tell the government what they're doing, where they are. It's weird. It's a whole database. It's all it was meant to be. But it's cool and all. I mean, people get to talk to each other, but why don't you just buy a calling card? Why do you have to send them a picture of your breakfast or whatever? It's just stupid to me. You know.
Yeah, well, they made it a fashion. They made it fashionable, and of course, there's a lot of regular people. This is actually something I believe that they didn't count on, but one of the reasons why you hear some of these, especially the celebrities and everything like that, they get all upset and they do really wild things to get more attention and everything like that. But it's because of the fact that with the internet, anybody can be famous and rich now. It's not just the chosen ones or the ones that they think that, you know, that they try to direct us over to fangirling or fanboying for, you know, like Katniss and all these people and everything like that. You got people like PewDiePie and you see them always trying to shut them down as far as that goes too. You see anybody get over 1 million viewers or a million subs on YouTube, all of a sudden they've got a target on their back, you know. But I think that this was something that they didn't count on when it came right down to it, and they actually developed the internet and started letting everyone do as they please on it. That's the reason why we now have so much conflict and everything like that, and they want to censor everybody because I think that was something they didn't count on.
For sure, exactly. You know, they don't really mind if like 10,000 people are watching your videos and it's extremely quote unquote controversial. Once you start hitting 500,000, they're like, okay, you're gonna have to start basically repeating our rhetoric, or we're gonna either demonetize you or hit you with a community guideline strike for medical misinformation.
I've had 2 of those.
Hate speech. Yeah, I got banned from YouTube. I was surprised I got banned. I was on a Biden video and I got a strike. I was using some profane language, of course. Then I was on other videos, and they basically gave me a 48-hour ban. The second it was over with, I did it again, 72 hours. And then they actually locked me out of my Gmail account. And I had to switch to Proton Mail. I don't even use Gmail anymore because of it. It's insane. Like,
no, I didn't know that they went that far.
Yeah, they will. They'll do it. Even Google. Google is not even owned by themselves. It's Alphabet Corporation.
Right.
Yes, it's bad. And I really appreciate you being so accepting the information. Most people I tell this to, they think I'm fucking crazy. But it's all on paper.
Oh well, we're all looking for the truth. We're all looking for the truth and trying to seek the truth in this network that we have, especially here on Odysee. So, yeah, I'm always open to anything. Usually, open-minded. Like I say, when you start learning more and more stuff, you actually learn how much stuff you don't know. So it actually becomes natural to start. Like I say, the craving of the information and the knowledge just starts coming to you once you start getting it. And a lot of this stuff, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I don't care how many people try to thwart you or try to talk you into something different. It's just not going to happen. That's why the fact they keep beating us over the head with this January 6th thing. They think that that's going to work, but nobody fucking cares about that. And it's not what they keep saying it is.
Yeah, it's so dumb. You know, when I saw it at first, and keep in mind, I don't dislike Trump. I fucking for sure don't like fucking Biden. He's a retard, but he's hilarious. I just love hearing him talk. It's a great way to just laugh my ass off. Trump, to me, it's not that he's questionable, but I don't. I tend to immediately hone in on anybody who becomes president. You know, that's just my natural reaction because of all the fucked up shit I've heard in the past. But that specifically was a total. It's just a psyop. That dude with the Viking hat, I was like, this is fucking retarded. This is a cartoon. This is not real.
Didn't they try to
one of the
profess
cops
that he
actually
was the
shot,
leader of
like, one of the ladies
QAnon or
there.
something?
Yeah, no, it was so dumb. They're just talking shit for the sake of it, just to see who bites the oil. It's so funny to me. Like, what some people actually got put in prison. Apparently, I can't verify it. I mean, that's
Supposedly
the problem. I never
there's-
believe a single word they say.
Yeah, supposedly there's 863 people in Washington jail right now because of January 6th. They're still looking for more people.
Really?
And none of these people have actually been charged with anything. They're just being held, which is also
Oh my God,
unconstitutional.
Yeah, that's the Patriot Act. Then
Yeah.
if they're labeling them as domestic terrorists, they can. I tried to read the Patriot Act. I downloaded the PDF. It's really long. I'm not sure if you tried to read any of it. And they use the most drawn out, superfluous, university level terminologies. It's just really roundabout and hard to honestly understand. Even I know a few big words here and there, but the way they put their words together, it's like straight out of a lawyer's handbook.
Yeah, I guess that's the reason why they think normal people are stupid, because they word these things that way in such a way to where nobody has even learned those words, even in high school. You know, even a high school graduate doesn't know some of this stuff. They are masters of confusion, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, well, you don't understand this. Well, you just must not be very educated." And in the meantime, they push it through.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Even I was talking to someone recently about the stock market, and they were kind of rude to me. They're like, "Oh, you don't know shit about the stock market. You're like, how old are you? Like, you're not even 30." I was like, do you even know what NASDAQ stands for?" And the dude didn't know what to say. I was like, well, stands for National Association Securities Dealers Automated Quotation System. And he just looked like a fucking retard. I was like, well, technically I know more than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm half your age. And, you know, it's funny because the stock market, I heard something really peculiar recently, that it was actually created by the Collins family. It's Colonna in Italian, and that's the same bloodline of Christopher Columbus. And apparently they have the deed to California and New York City. That's what I had heard. I can't really verify that or not, but I wouldn't doubt it, because those two states are the worst in the union.
Yeah, I tell you what, I wouldn't go to California nowadays. I went there back in '84.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I went to San Francisco. It was actually one of the most pretty towns I'd ever been to. And, of course, I got to see the famous, I forget the name of the road, but it's that squiggly road that was always...
oh, yeah.
It was always
Lombard
portrayed
Street
in a lot of movies and things like that, especially chases and things.
Yeah, it's Lombard Street. I was actually born in San Francisco.
Oh, cool. You're not there anymore, though, right?
You know, oh, fuck no. I went there recently, and it's bad. I used to be a Lyft driver, but I stopped because it's just a lot of wear and tear in my vehicle, which I sold, and I just hated it after a while. These homeless people, I was at the red light on Market Street, and they were banging on my window, begging me for money. They almost broke my window.
Yeah, it's getting rough out there.
I don't feel comfortable even getting out of my car. Yeah, it's bad. It's a beautiful city, though. Don't get me wrong. I love, like, North Beach, which is the Italian area, Embarcadero. Chinatown's cool, but it's still just dirty as fuck there. It's cracks everywhere. You know, needles on the ground. But the traffic sucks. There's nowhere to park. It's just a classic metropolitan shithole, essentially.
Yeah.
It's even worse when you get to Castro Street. I've been there during Pride Festival. I couldn't wait to fucking leave. My buddy talked me into going, and I hated every minute of it. It was just fucking weird. There's people overdosing left and right, people walking around naked. It's just, it's Sodom and Gomorrah.
Wow. Well, that's what I say. It was
really
not.
bad.
It was nothing like that. In fact, the worst thing that I dealt with back in '84 was the Hare Krishnas, and even they were pretty nice.
For sure. You know what's funny to note? I'm not sure if you know this. You know who Antoine LaVey is?
No.
He's a really popular Satanist.
Okay, that's why I don't
It's
know
the
him.
Church of he knows some Hollywood people, and the Church of Antoine LaVey, the Church of Satanism, is headquartered in San Francisco. By the way.
Not surprised.
Yeah, it's that bad. Even the Federal Reserve is in San Francisco and New York. You know, the Federal Reserve Bank, it's New York and San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I think New York was first, and then they put a counterpart in San Francisco. I'm not sure when, but that was like, you know, Woodrow Wilson and Nelson D. Aldrich and the Rockefellers and shit. A bunch of other assholes. Yeah.
Ruguru says, or no,
California
Lord
is-
Slade says Anton, not Antoine.
Yeah, Anton.
Anton.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who
A-N-T-O-N.
that
Yeah.
is. I don't go looking for that. That we get enough of that through our TVs and through our politicians and everything. I don't necessarily go looking for that. I'm always searching for God. So.
Totally, I don't blame you. Yeah, it's something I actually stumbled across on accident with one of the documentaries I was watching like years ago. It just kind of stuck with me, just like something to take note of. Essentially.
Oh, Limited Access says she knew about him, and he's creepy. They're
Oh,
creepy.
really?
That is kind of creepy. I don't.
Yeah,
I
he's a weirdo.
Yeah, I'm not interested in the dark arts. I'm afraid of the dark.
Yeah, a lot of people they don't like that topic, and they go as far as to refute any sort of information about it. Period. As per their level of cognitive dissonance, because it's honestly kind of unnerving shit. Like when I wake up in the morning, that's the last thing I want to think about.
Right.
You know,
Well, the unfortunate part about it is it's out there. You have to either you no matter what, you're going to have to choose a side.
For sure, totally. Even like lately, I've been really contemplating the nature of like self-sustainability, which is super important. I have a lot of seeds in my freezer. I have plenty of fishing gear and things of that nature, you know, but I really want to be even more self-sustainable, because if the supermarkets right now didn't have any food, I'd have to search my neighborhood for squirrels. You know, I don't like the idea of me even relying on that if I really needed to, because I wouldn't be the only person thinking about doing that. You know, which just goes to show how fucked up it is in these suburban cities.
Mm-hmm. Well, you should start
We're
prepping, I
completely
guess.
reliant.
Do like Limited Access says, and you don't have to do it all at once. Little by little, you still got time, but I wouldn't wait too much longer. Even if you just go to the grocery store, each time you go to the grocery store, buy 5 or 6 extra cans of something.
For sure, totally.
Or you know,
Canned
5
food
or
is
6
much
extra
better.
something and put it back. Even if nothing happens, you'll have food. You know, that's the way it is.
For sure, totally. We have a little propane at my house, you know, which is going to be invaluable because I'm guessing you're well aware of the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset agenda.
Oh yes. Good night, Prowler. Oh yeah.
For sure. And that's a scary one because these, like, what's it called? The Department of Energy, their ties are essentially immeasurable at this point. There's so many major families involved with controlling energy. Even J.P. Morgan, he was the one who had a monopoly on copper wire, and he was funding Nikola Tesla in the mid-18th century and like the late 18th century.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one that had the FBI jack all of this technology. They don't want people to have this sort of information whatsoever, and they can literally shut down their own energy plants whenever they want to and blame it on something else. They can blame it on Russia. They can blame it on some cyber attack.
Hell,
And
they
they can
blamed
just
it on
shut
the
down the
cold
supply
weather
chain.
last year.
For sure.
When they did it, when they shut down and had brownouts during that cold snap down here in Texas, that was uncalled for. That's never happened before. But I think that they're doing this on purpose. Just to remind us, hey, we're in control, guys. You need to do what we say or else.
No, for sure. And when I heard about that, I'm like, well, obviously they're going to want to target Texas because Texas is not going to take anyone's shit. You know, that's probably the best state to be in, besides, you know, some other problems you guys might be having, you know, but it's probably far less than other states, which is really good. And I wonder why, you know, people over there, they're smart and they will defend themselves and they know how to garden and have a farm and things of that nature. And I wish someone would have taught me about all that. Personally, I'm fucking broke, so it would be kind of hard for me to gather a lot of resources right now.
Yeah, well,
but,
it's never too late to learn.
Figure it out.
Never too late to learn, and you actually, since you're younger, you got a lot more time to work on all this stuff too. Get with the, talk to Limited Access, and go to that site that the YouTube that she talked about. The lady tells you how to can things and how to preserve things and how to reuse things, and because you probably have more than you think that you have there, be able to use and do things with.
For sure, that's a really great alternative. The whole canning thing. My grandma actually taught me how to pickle things, and I have a decent green thumb. My mom taught me how to grow various different vegetables, mint, oregano, squash. My grandma, she used to grow tomatoes. She taught me a little bit. I just need the seeds, and I need to have good soil, and I have to wait for the season to happen for it to be fruitful, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I like being in the garden, personally. Kind of therapeutic for me, and I like seeing things grow from my own hands versus at the store from Monsanto.
Yeah, me too. Like I say, I've got a brown thumb, but I don't ever stop trying because I know that it's going to be real important here soon, I'm sure. And even if it's not, even like I say, even if they still end up providing us with things, you never know what they're putting in this stuff.
For sure. I even heard somehow I think they're able to put spike proteins in the genetically modified seeds, which is technically, it's not even a vaccination, it's just a bioweapon. I think they can pull it off now. And if they do, people are going to be wondering why they're sick, and then they'll just blame it on another variant, which is absolute bullshit. I remember some people talking in the store about this variant. It was like BA-5. I was like, these motherfuckers just keep watching the news too much. I would never sit there and listen to their garbage. And those RT-PCR tests are completely fraudulent. Even the creator of them said they're not even supposed to be used to tell if someone's sick or not.
Right.
If you really want to find out what's in something, you would use a mass spectrometer, not an RT-PCR test. It's just
Rougarou says that it sounds like a way for purebuds to get heart attacks. That's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility. And like I say, you never know what they're going to do. I'm surprised they're not pushing harder the chips in your body and stuff like that too. But I think that they might possibly just sneak them in there if that's what they're doing somehow or another.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about the RFIDs actually. For the longest time, I was thinking, oh, they're going to just put them in the shot. They don't need to do that. Smartphones, that's all they really need to track you. And the 5G network, it's just an enhanced version of 4G. You can have internet off the fucking coast of Somalia now with 5G. It's widespread. It's everywhere.
Well, now I know that was
wherever you are.
That was supposedly one of Elon Musk's goals, to give absolutely everybody internet access.
For sure, it's in
worldwide,
the form of surveillance. Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that was one of Bill Gates's plans or not either, but I do know I've heard Elon Musk talk about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Gates family was involved. You know, that's the thing. It's either they're all involved or they know about it. You know, I think each of these families have their set goals and their objectives, and their orders that are given to them by their hierarchy. You know, like the Rockefellers, their thing was like oil, banking. The Gates family was like the hospital system and banking. It's just fucking crazy. You know, when you really start going deep into it, it's mind-blowing. I was actually shocked when I first learned about it. I thought it was all bullshit at first, but that it just goes to show how ignorant I was at the time.
Let's see. Starchild says, Abbott can close the border whenever he wants. It's been a revolving door to use for the masses for propaganda, for emotional reaction. Oh, yeah. And, of course, they're accusing him of that, too, by sending these people to the sanctuary cities, but not in droves like they're coming in down here. I was surprised when even Charlemagne the God said that DeSantis was a genius for doing so. However, it sounds to me like Charlemagne the God is noticing and is starting to see the hypocrisy of his party. I don't know what they did to him or said to him, but he's he's speaking out now against some of this stuff. So you hear Bill Maher speaking out against some of it now, and you hear
Interesting.
Yeah, I still don't trust them because a lot of them, like I say, even Fox News, they're controlled opposition. They're giving us the. I was just
about to say, yeah.
Well, they're giving us the.
Opposition.
Yeah, well, they're giving us the impression that there's people that are on both sides. They're giving it. They're making it sound like, oh, it's okay to be on other side, but then it's not really. And they're not. I guarantee you, if what is his name? He's so popular on Fox. In fact, that's the only guy that some people will watch.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson, yeah. I guarantee that if he was about to lose his paycheck, he'd say and do what they wanted him to do. In fact, there's a few things that he should have been mentioned in a few of these things that he tries to act like he's outraged about that he doesn't touch either.
For sure, you know, and that's why they call it controlled opposition. You know, they're literally telling you what you want to hear. Even Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, Russell Brand, people, they bring them up like, oh, they're the good guys. I don't know. They wouldn't be on YouTube if they were the good guys. They would have been banned like Jeff Berwick, and Shadowley was banned apparently. A bunch of people. Salty Cracker probably got a lot of flack for whatever he was talking about.
Well, they've demonetized him, and they supposedly stole from all of his patrons. They still haven't returned any of that money when they demonetized him almost 2 years ago now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they got that straightened out. You'll have to ask him. He doesn't talk about that much anymore. Just tells YouTube to go fuck themselves. But
yeah, good for him. Fuck them. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I was born and raised kind of in San Francisco, but I lived in San Bruno. And I'm not sure if you knew this, but YouTube headquarters is in San Bruno, California. I lived 5 minutes away from YouTube headquarters, and there was a shooting there when I was still living there, and it's just a weird-ass place to be around.
Not YouTube that lady. That lady that they deplatformed. And I remember her, some I think it was an Indian lady or Pakistani type lady or something like that. And they demonetized her, or they kicked her off of YouTube or something like that. And she was a yoga instructor or something, and she went to was that the shooting you're talking about? Didn't she go there and shoot them, and then they shot her or something? I know she died.
So I think she actually worked for YouTube too. That's what I heard, but she also had a channel.
Right.
Apparently.
Yeah, she was upset about that, and she went up there to confront them, and she I think she brought a gun.
Yeah, she wasn't really good with it. They ended up getting her pretty bad. It was a sad.
Well, yeah, they killed her, I think.
Yeah, they killed her. Luckily, I was in another county when it happened. When I got home, my dad had told me what happened. It's just, that whole area, the Bay Area, is just AIDS. I'm glad I left, personally.
Yeah. Well, I do know that San Francisco and the Haight-Ashbury area was the actual supposed beginning of the Summer of Love in 1969 when all of this crapola started. And now those people that were against the system are actually the system.
For sure. It's funny you mentioned that because you know that one band, it's called Rage Against the Machine?
Yes.
These motherfuckers, they require vaccination for you to see them live at a concert.
Yeah.
So much for Raging Against the Machine.
Yeah, well, like I say, well, that's actually
God.
typical of the government. They always name something the exact opposite of what it actually is going to be. And they do that because
for
oh well,
sure.
how could you go against something like the Child Protection Act or the Affordable Care Act? How could you disparage against that? How could you be against something that's so good like that? And it ends up not being good if you look at it. I mean, hell, they call the Secretary of the Interior. He's in charge of everything outdoors. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Even a big one, like a huge one that I always knew about this organization. They pushed this shit when we were little kids.
Mm-hmm.
They also push say no to drugs. And then, oh my God, they pump you full of drugs the second you have anything wrong with you. The second you're 18, they'll give you anything you want if you have a certain symptom. Mm-hmm. It was UNICEF.
Oh, they don't even wait until you're 18. They're trying to put they're trying to put my 3-year-old grandson on drugs because they think he's
for sure, like Ritalin and shit.
Yeah, he's too energetic and too rambunctious. He's a little boy.
Oh my fucking God.
He's a little boy. He's gonna be and he's 3. He doesn't know anything yet.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's fucked up. Even when I was a little kid, I was a little shit. You know, I was really, really energetic. I hated sitting down. I did not want to listen to teachers. Mm-hmm. I just had this intrinsic feeling that they were full of shit. And they try to get me on Ritalin, and I forgot the other one's name. It's meth for children. It's a sedative. But
Adderall.
Meth is, Adderall. That's the one. It's meth.
Yep.
And my mom was like, "Yeah, fuck you."
It's actually kind of funny because
that's where it ended.
I work in nightclubs. I was working in nightclubs and stuff like that, and I would literally have young kids, young people come up to me and ask me for that stuff, and I would be like, "What is that? What is that even?" And I found out later it's their version of speed. So and of course I think it's pretty stupid to drink alcohol with it. You're basically putting 2 substances in your body that are going to fight each other.
Oh, for sure. You can wake up never if you actually do that. If you take both of them at the same time, it's like taking an opiate and drinking a 6-pack. You might not wake up in the morning.
Well, that's what I say. You're literally putting 2 substances in your body that are going to be fighting each other. One's going to be trying to put you to sleep.
Yeah.
The other one's going to be making you go Zzz! So yeah.
For sure. It's like taking a shot of espresso and then taking a shot of whiskey. That's retarded. Funny, it doesn't even sound enjoyable.
Nah, I've never been. I've never.
I would have.
Don't do drugs.
Sorry, I kind of interrupted you. But that's always a better option. Personally, I like to have a few drinks every now and then and smoke some weed, and I smoke cigarettes and things of that nature.
Okay.
It's very expensive and kind of superfluous, but it definitely helps me get into my zone at times and calm down, Yeah,
well, everything in moderation. That's how I was
vices.
taught as a kid and growing up and everything. Everything in moderation. And I think that has a lot to do with the 7 deadly sins as far as that goes too. Gluttony and being oversexed and all that other stuff. It's never good for you. In fact, I've known people that were addicts and things like that, and they just seem to have so many more troubles and so much more drama and so much more anxiety and things that just aren't even real that they just deal with. And it's like, nah, I'm not giving a substance that control over my body.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. Even when children are in the womb, they're still a product of their own environment.
Mm-hmm.
If the mom is really stressed out or malnourished, the kid can actually be predisposed to addictive behaviors, and things of that nature, self-medication, like self-medicating in general,
Space Cowboy says, Fug, my mom refused the Ritalin. I am so thankful now. Super hyper to this day. Weed and alcohol gives me time, perspective, and a chance. Way better than the Prozac or the Wellbutrin. Yeah. In fact, they put me on Wellbutrin.
Yeah, my man.
They put me on Wellbutrin after I had my tubal, and it kept me awake. It kept me awake for 3 weeks, and then instead of taking me off of it and putting me on something else that might have worked or something, he just threw more pills at me. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. Not to mention the fact that that stuff made me nauseous. I felt like I was about to throw up every time I stood up. That's a horrible feeling to feel, especially when you're not actually sick.
Oh, definitely. Even like a lot of these cancer patients, it's like $1 billion business, and a lot of them, they seem to feel fine before they get diagnosed with cancer, and then all of a sudden the chemotherapy kicks in, and all these it's like chemotherapy pills. It was the same pills that they gave people for AIDS, and then you start seeing their hair fall out. They have no energy. They can't eat. It's just all these pills are designed to kill you. And even it was a Sackler family, I believe. They created OxyContin, and all it did was get people addicted, and it made them really nauseous and stupid. It ruined their liver. It's all eugenics.
Yeah, I actually knew people that were on those, and it would make them really mean.
That's a good point. I had a buddy who had a predisposition to being a total asshole whenever he took them, because he felt like really, really, really good, and he got like super confident off them, and he would become aggressive and everything you can think of. You just cannot be around some of these people when they're on any pills. That even the FBI, whenever they conduct these false flag operations, they'll just pump people up with pills to get them in like a very like dehumanized state of mind, where nothing matters, and it's what the drugs do. They're meant to numb out your brain. But that's the pharmaceutical grade version. Like the real version from nature doesn't produce that effect. Nothing in nature will make you act like that.
No.
Unless it's something's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
But these people act like someone's trying to kill them.
Rugaru says, what was the stop smoking pill? That made me angry. Actually, it they're saying that it caused Anthony Bourdain, whatever his name was, that famous cook dude that would travel for... Mm-hmm. I think it caused him to commit suicide. Really? I've heard some theories about Anthony Bourdain. Chantix, yes. Even I saw a Chantix commercial numerous times, and one of the side effects was suicidal thoughts. Yeah. Actually, I don't know about anybody else, but when they first started advertising the medications and stuff to people. Now, first of all, that's against the law in Europe and other countries. Is it really? Yes. But no shit. They were by law supposed to let you know about the side effects and all this, and they would come out with this huge long ass line of side effects and everything. I thought, damn, I'd rather have the affliction. Exactly. Everything they're naming is worse than what you already have, and it's damn near not going to be stopped by some punk ass pharmaceutical company. Yeah, and how in the world were they talking people into getting them to ask their doctors to literally try and make them sicker? Because they're stupid. They must be. They are. I mean, when I first was, I had wanted to call you. I'm surprised I'm still on the phone with you. It's actually been really awesome. I was wondering what I was going to say, and that was one of the things I was going to bring up was allopathic medication, which is essentially pharmaceuticals. Frederick T. Gates advised John D. Rockefeller to synthesize medication that was petroleum-based, mixed in with God knows what. It's just it's a genetically modified version of nature, essentially, which I don't even want to know how they were able to do it. To me, it's like alien technology. God forbid it is.
And the thing is, it's just all designed to fuck up your body.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
a lot of the synthetic stuff
thing about it, and that's all it really is.
Yeah, the stuff about the synthetic stuff is your body doesn't know what to do with that.
Not at all. It's completely foreign.
So that's the reason why, sometimes your body tries to store it. Most of the time your body tries to exude it and things like that. But then you just keep putting it in and keep putting it in. Your body just doesn't know what to do with that stuff. It lodges in your brain. It lodges in your heart. It lodges in your organs and things like that. And then all of a sudden you're sick and you don't know why. But it's because you're sticking all of this inorganic shit in your body. And your body doesn't know what to do with it.
No, exactly. It's cellular toxicity. That's what they want to do. Even what was it called? In the 50s, they were spraying kids with DDT for polio, which fucking gave people polio.
Mm-hmm.
And they were giving people vaccinations for polio that gave them AIDS, and the AIDS vaccinations were giving them fucking polio. It's like, what's going on here? It's just fucking ridiculous. And people, these doctors, these people, they literally drive their children to a hospital to get injected with a weird ass shit they don't even know the fucking ingredient list for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. If I don't even want a kid personally, because I don't want to deal with that shit. Because if I have a kid and I end up really loving the kid, obviously if I have a kid, I'm gonna love him. I'm not gonna do anything legal to protect him or her. I'll go fucking nuts if they try to do that shit.
Right.
I don't know how people have kids nowadays. I'd be pissed every second of the day. I'm already mad and I don't even have fucking kids.
It changes when they're your own, from what I've been told. Welcome, Wolf Sheep Killer, on Rumble. Got a few people on Rumble tonight. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing good too, and you too. You stay safe and healthy as well. All right, I have to check that every once in a while because the chat doesn't pop up for me for Rumble.
Oh, of course. Cool. I actually never go on Rumble. I stick to Odysee personally. But I hear good things about Rumble. It's definitely one of the better platforms out there. When I first started actually going to these platforms, it was LDGwih. It was the app, which it was really cool. I was like, oh, I can earn cryptocurrency, which LBC isn't worth shit. But it was still kind of cool to just see it, like, go up.
Oh, yeah.
There was this one site. Yeah, it was just like a cool little app. I was like, this is much better than YouTube. Fuck YouTube. It was called Brand New Tube, and there was one called UG Tube. It was like UGE Tube. And then I found Jeff Berwick's channel. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him from the Dollar Vigilante. And then I started watching his videos. Then I found this guy named Styx Hexenhammer 666, kind of a weird name. And then I found Salty Cracker. And I found all these other people. Yeah, Styx is cool. He's hilarious.
Actually, I can't wait for his live. What was it? He's going to do something live with. Oh, what the hell is his name? Sleazy P Martini. I think it's the debates, debates or something like that. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, really? Yeah,
him and Sleazy P, two of the most opposite types of people on the planet are going to get together. But if they can do it, I like Styx.
Cool.
I like Styx. He's a smart guy.
He's cool. He's really smart, and he kind of surprised me because he has a lot of these videos about like esotericism and like Freemasonry and like alchemy. Like he takes it a whole nother step, which I actually find that stuff really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to comprehend at times. I'll be honest. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I don't even want to read anymore. It's just super involved. It goes all the way back to like ancient mystery school teachings and like sacred geometry and things of that nature, which I have much better things to think about, but it's just cool to see someone researching these kind of things. If I ever did want to learn more about it, I'd go to him right away.
Zoot Suit Cooter, welcome. He's on YouTube. He says Styx and Sleazy are going to do election night coverage. Okay, that's going to be fun. So I'm going to switch, because Steven Crowder's going to do it too, so I might actually do it too, and I'll switch between the two of them or whatever. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Cool.
All right. Well, great conversation, man. I appreciate you giving us a call. and helping me out with the show. In fact, we're almost an hour over. I'm sure that Rocky's not happy with me right now, but that's okay. This is my show. And I actually stay on as long as people are calling, so this show is for y'all. This is what I do. This is what I'm doing to try and get everybody to exercise their freedom of speech, because if we stop that, then they win by default. And that can't help.
Yeah, Laura,
that can't happen.
For sure. It's been great talking with you. It's been more than a pleasure. You're super cool. You're hella smart in my book. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm just an old rocker chick, but I've been around for a while, so I guess there's something to be said about that. And of course, when I do my shows, I do a lot of reading and I look at all of this stuff too. So yeah, make sure that you go to like I say, get with limited access, or go to the YouTube channel that she talked about with regards to prepping, because we want you around for a while. So make sure you take care of yourself. And I was gonna say also too, find some people that you can barter with. Maybe you have a one thing that you can do that somebody else can't do, but then they have something that they can do that you can't do, and you can barter, because that's actually what actually happens to the normies after the commies take over. We usually have our own our own ways of doing things to stay under the radar and stuff like that, and that's the best way to do it. They can't do arrest all of us, and they can't kill all of us. That's never going to happen. So, and there are still more of us than there are of them, so don't forget that. They want you to forget that.
Totally. Yep, I got a few things I can barter off right now, and I'm a pretty damn good fisherman, and I have plenty of gear to last me for a couple of years, so I definitely have something to offer.
Yeah, there you go. And anyway, it sounds like you'll eat.
I'm not too bad off. I definitely know a thing or two. I was actually spooling my own reel today because I don't like having to rely on Bass Pro Shop. That's another plus, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, thank you so much for even accepting my call, and it's been a huge pleasure talking with you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll be in the chat room and do whatever everyone else is doing, see where they're going, and talk with them for a bit.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for calling. That's what this show's all about. I appreciate you calling and let me know all of that stuff. I'm actually going to look up that guy you talked about just so that I can know how to avoid him.
Oh, hell yeah. Anton LaVey, he's a piece of shit. And there's many other people like him. Anyway, you have a great night. Much love, and I guess I'll just catch you another time.
Okay, every Thursday night. And Tuesdays at the round table.
Awesome. Thank you. You have a great night.
Okay, thank you. You too. Good night.
Right on. God bless. Bye. Good night.
Night. All right. Thank you for calling. That's Frog or Fog. Okay, on Odysee. Appreciate that. Wow, we went way over time. But that's okay. Like I say, as long as people were calling. But I do want to show the one thing that I did want to talk about, or let y'all know, that even with all of this darkness before the dawn, and the reason why I said that is because there is a little bit of good news out there. Now, one thing that's happening is Tesla actually recalled a million of their cars, supposedly, according to the Daily Mail. All right. So that's another thing that everybody's always... more proof that you don't want an EV. Fuck the EVs. They're pushing this on them because they will make money off of them. They don't give a shit whether you can use them or not. They just want you to buy them. And of course, there was another guy that just came out too. He had one of his batteries went dead or whatever like that. He paid originally $156,000 for the car itself, and now he owes them 20 grand because the batteries just locked him out of everything. He can't even get into his cars, and in order to get the program or whatever like that, he owes them 20 grand. Anyways, one of the good things that's happened. Oops, that's not it. Where is it? Okay, real quickly before we end, because I don't want to. I never like to leave a show on bad notes or everything like that, because a lot of bad crap is happening, and they are saying a lot of bad shit about us and everything like that. But we still have some hope out there. I I'm going to show you the video next time there's a young man that actually confronts his school board with regards to his race. I'll show you that one. I'll save that and show you that one next week. But this person inspires me, and I'm hoping to God that they're just not trying to infiltrate so that they can do what the other rhinos have ever done. But she sounds pretty convincing so far. Let me show you her. This was at the last Trump rally.
Who does this woman think she is, that the people of Michigan don't have the right to question her? Who does this woman think she is, that the people of Michigan don't have the right to scrutinize the election process? That is what happens when you have people in government who do not know and do not care about the state or the U.S. Constitution. Last time I checked, according to my First Amendment rights, I have the right to redress my grievances to my government without being called an insurrectionist, without being called a big life opponent. Who do these people think they are? They work for us.
She's not wrong, and we need to start remembering that and start reminding them of that too. So make sure you get out there and vote. And I'm going to tell you, don't vote for the Democrats. Don't. You know, most of the time we always say get out there and vote. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Just make sure you exercise your right to vote. Well, this time, don't vote for Democrats. You see what they're doing to us. Even, that's why I say I'm not even going to call MAGAs Republicans, because they're not all Republicans. They're not. There's some Democrats there. There's some indies. There's a lot of indies there. There's a lot of people that don't want to be Democrats anymore. And there's a lot of Republicans, of course. They're only saying that because they consider Trump the leader of the Republican Party. And with a 94, 96% approval rating of all Republicans, makes sense. All right, I'll save some more of this stuff for next week or for the round table. I'm going to try and make it on Saturday. I'm actually off this Saturday, but you never know. I got a lot of things with my family going on, and of course, I don't spend all my time on the computer. I have to take a break from some of this stuff too. Don't forget, I'm the only one that does any of this stuff. I do all the production, I do all the broadcasting, I do all the writing, I do all the research. Sometimes it takes me a couple of days. So, and then I've got other things to do. I've got a house to take care of, I've got a husband to take care of, and I have a job. Well, a business, another business. So, all right. So yeah, reps, you're there to represent us, not to rule us. And if you can't do that, out you go. Especially if you start becoming beholden to someone like Soros, the Rothschilds, or even Biden. And I'm sure we all agree when I say, no step on snack. All right, you guys, thanks for the donations. Thanks for the phone calls. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for being here. Thank you for everything today. And we will see you in the chats. Don't forget 451 Actual in the morning and Salty Cracker in the evening. We'll see you in the chats around some of those other things and everything like that. And until next time, AMF.